What up, Doe One Pride? This is the Roar of the Lions UK podcast, the podcast where one pride goes worldwide. My name is Anthony Fitzpatrick. I'm joined this evening by Ryan McCluskey, which can only mean one thing. It is time for your weekly dose of college knowledge. Yes, it is the college football podcast, Cerberus vs. Ghidorah. Ryan, we are 2.5 weeks away from the college football season now. We both started off with an opening weekend victory in the EFL this weekend just gone. I don't know about you, but times feel good right now. I'm very happy with where things are going. We're nearly back and we are back.
Yep. Football's officially back in every sense of the word. So college football, yeah. I'm at that excited time where it's like Christmas Eve. It's the start of like door one on your calendar, and Christmas Eve is week zero.
Absolutely. We are 18 days away or 17 days away, I believe, from the start of the season now. And there's going to be a packed week zero slate, which is going to be really fun. And yeah, we've just got two shows after today. Next week, we're going to be doing our big prediction show, which I am absolutely certain I'm going to be absolutely terrible at this year, but we are going to do that nonetheless. And then in a couple of weeks' time, it'll be time for the week zero preview. It's crazy. The season is here already, and we'll be getting down and dirty with things. So we've got that to look forward to. But we got a show to get out the way first. And today, by guest request, we have a three-headed monster search, hence the title Cerberus and Ghidorah. Cerberus, the three-headed dog that guarded the gates of the Greek Underworld. Ghidorah, obviously one of the three-headed enemies of Godzilla. We were asked last week by Grandizer, it was a request of him, if we would try and find the best three-headed monster or the best triplets in college football. He'd seen one done for the NFL and he wanted one doing for college football. So the triplets for the description of today, it is a quarterback, a running back, and then a wide receiver or a tight end. So we would find the best triplets in all of college football. Which team has the best quarterback, running back, then receiver, tight end combo? And we've been very hard at work on that. So we are going to get to that today. Feldman's Freaks, the list has been released for 2025 when Bruce Feldman puts together a list of the most physically phenomenal athletes in college football. These are the guys who really do go and break RAS records and stuff like that. So that list is out. We're going to take a look at some of the guys on there, see who's been ranked high this year. And then the coaches' top 25 preseason poll is out. The top 25 teams in college football as ranked by the coaches. We are going to break that down, see the teams on there, the teams we don't think should be on there, the ones that should be on there, who's rated too high, who's rated too low, do we agree with it all? So we've got a lot of good fun stuff we're going to go through today. Just going to get all the housekeeping stuff out the way first. Roar of the Lions UK Discord, if you want in on that, let us know. We'll fire you across a link for it. Main podcast, we did a review of the Hall of Fame game the other day, so if you've not checked that already, please do go and do that. We got, don't forget to like and sub to everything, Twitch, YouTube, all that good sort of stuff. We really appreciate the backing. We are on officially the road to 2000 on YouTube. We broke the 1900 barrier the other day, so our aim is to get to 2000 soon. If you can get us there within the next week and a half before the 24-hour stream, we will come up with some kind of forfeit and embarrass ourselves live on air. So get spreading the word about us, get those subs going up. Let's get to 2000 and see what happens when you do, because it will be worth your time. I promise you that. Lions Nation Unite we're a part of as well, so if you could help support that. Herman Moore's project to bring together a whole host of Lions content creators into one forum to talk about all things Lions, which we are a part of there. We're affiliated on Twitch, monetized on YouTube. We've got a tip jar, all that sort of stuff. If you want to help us that way, great. But first and foremost, we just love having you all in the building talking ball with us. We've got the feedback form as well, so any comments about the shows, anything like that, you feel free to fill that in and we'll take it all on board, or you can just put it in the live chat. And as I mentioned, in a week and a half's time, we are officially celebrating the 5-year anniversary of Roar of the Lions UK. I think it's the 8th, so I think it's in about 2 days' time when our first ever show went out 5 years ago. But we thought we wanted to do something big to mark the occasion, that the fact that we've been going for 5 years, the fact that you guys over in America and here at home have backed us for that long and kept us going for so long is just absolutely incredible. So we're doing a 24-hour stream. We've got loads of guests coming on. We've got beat writers galore. We've got other Lions content creators. We've got quizzes. We're doing rookie tape reviews. Oh, it's just going to be a big extravaganza. So put that in your books. That is the It'll for the you guys, it'll be the end of the 15th of August, going into the 16th of August, which is the Friday and Saturday next week. For us, it will be the entire Saturday, and we've got lots more we're planning for that. So yeah, spread the word, help us get the word out for that. That would be tremendous. Right. Believe that is all the housekeeping bits out the way. Nothing much in terms of news I wanted to go through this week because we've got three big sections to get through here. But of course, before the season starts, we'll cover everything that needs to. No realignment issues or anything like that this week that we've come by. So Brent is in the chat. Hope you're doing well, Brent. As always, as we're going through the evening, if you've got questions for us, anything you want to ask us, just let us know, and we'll at some point in the show, at some point where we can get to it, we will address it all. But yeah, thanks to everyone who is watching as always this evening. So let's get into it. And I think the first one we'll start with today, we'll start with the coaches' top 25. So obviously all the preseason rankings for the teams and everything come out from all the experts, etc. But the one that a lot of people like to keep an eye on is what the coaches say. Obviously the coaches of the teams, they monitor what's going on. They know better than anything the strengths, the weaknesses, and that of all the teams around the league. And when their lists come out, people pay heedy attention to those. And their top 25 came out this week, just gone. So we're gonna break it down here. First, before we do, 'cause we'll go from 25 through to 1. I'll do a list of the honorable mentions here. And then maybe we'll talk about some of the teams on there that we're surprised aren't in, etc. And then we'll break down the top 25 five by five. So, honorable mentions for teams who did not get in. Oklahoma were the first team to miss out. They had 221 votes, but did not make enough to get in there. Missouri were next with 142. Louisville after that with 126. USC with 116. Utah with 86. Baylor with 76. Auburn with 50. Iowa with 49. Memphis with 34. Army with 33. Tulane with 31. Georgia Tech with 27. TCU with 24. Nebraska with 19, Syracuse with 16, Washington with 15, Navy with 14, Arkansas with 14, Duke and Colorado both got 12, Minnesota, the Golden Gophers got 11 votes to be in the top 25, UNLV and Florida State both got 8, so kudos to Ash for somehow getting himself 8 votes on that panel, very resourceful chap. Kansas got 6. Vanderbilt got 3, and then there is a single solitary vote at the end for the Buffalo Bulls. I don't know who the hell put that vote in, but the Buffalo Bulls, one of only three, sorry, group of 5 teams who got votes to go into the top 25. Any out of that list, right, before we get into the top 25? Anyone you're surprised who didn't get in there? And are we also maybe a little surprised that Oklahoma were the first team to miss out on the top 25 given their rotten year last year?
Eh, it's pretty high for Oklahoma. Uh, USC for me, too high. Too many votes for that top 25. I just feel like they're well off the pace. Like, uh, was Utah in the list?
Yes, they were. Utah got 86. They were the 5th team to miss out.
Sounds about right, yeah. Uh, there's no egregious mistakes. Like, I think Buffalo, it's got to be a local, someone like say someone from around the MAC, something like that. So yeah, yeah, I'd be fairly content with most of them.
Yeah, I think maybe the only one, I guess Baylor potentially I thought might have snuck their way in, but yeah, they got some good voltage in there. So yeah, the honorable mentions, maybe nothing too egregious in top of that. So we'll go down. So we'll go from 25 to 21. So Top 25 as ranked by the coaches this year for all the teams. At number 25 is Spencer Danielson and his Boise State Broncos. At 25, we've got Joey Maguire and his Texas Tech Red Raiders. At 23, Kalen Sataki and the BYU Cougars. And then tied at 21st, we've got Matt Campbell and the Iowa State Cyclones and Mike Elko and the Texas A&M Aggies. BYU have lost their quarterback, but people still believe in Kalen Sataki and his Warriors, and they've got him above the money-rich Texas Tech Red Raiders as well. That kind of feels like a story here, but three teams in the Big 12 already. Big 12 is getting its love this year.
Obviously, I'm conflicted with BYU. BYU's basically there for me. It's from their defense. I think BYU will still have an outstanding defense this year. They've got a really good linebacker core. Like I say, they've got a strong defensive front, so it's kind of going to have to carry them. Because offensively, I just feel like they're going to struggle with everyone that potentially options they've got quarterback. Like I say, it's going to take them a while to find their groove. But as a whole, yes, the Big 12 is finally getting its flowers. Like I say, it's what it lacks in elite top end talent. It makes up more purely in, like say, strength of depth between, like say, 9-1 or 8-1. Like so, you do genuinely have 6, 7 teams that could make a strong case for double-digit wins in a Big 12 title berth. You just really can't say that about too many of the conferences.
No, absolutely not. Shout out to Chase, the security guy who's in the chat. He goes, "Brit's talking about college ball now. I've seen it all." Yes, this is our fifth season covering. We love it to death. FCS, FBS, all of it. We will chat away. But thanks for joining in. He goes, "The Washington Huskies are going to be trouble this year. The sophomore quarterback who is the second coming of Kyler Murray.
Yeah,
We're going to hear about
I agree.
Washington later. We've got a three-headed monster challenge this year, and I'm going to say Washington are in there, and they're not low either. So we're all looking forward to seeing Washington this year. They are the potential exciting story. Mile marker is in the chat as well. Hope you're doing well, all of you. Like I say, if you've got any questions to ask as we go through, just put them in there, and we will crack on with that. Right, let's move further down. This is into the coaches' top 25. So sticking in the Big 12, at number 20, we've got Chris Kleeman and his Kansas State Wildcats. At number 9, number 19, we've got Kurt Signetti and the Indiana Hoosiers. At 18, we've got Josh Heupel and the Tennessee Volunteers. 17, we've got Billy Napier and those Florida Gators. And then at 16, we got Rhett Lashley and that's SMU Mustangs. I mean, we get into this category now. Indiana, SMU, some of the good stories from last year, and people are not losing faith in these teams. They believe that there is longevity here. Kurtz is not a one-year blip. Rhett Lashley, the SMU Mustangs coming into the ACC, it's not just a one-year blip. And then, of course, big year for Billy and Florida, and maybe for Heupel and Tennessee as well, given what's gone on with the Army Lievu. But I kind of like these. I like that these teams are not getting left out. I think this is where they should be, right?
Mm, I'm not high on Tennessee. I think this is too high for Heupel. I think this is a huge year for him. I think if they disappoint, depending on what his buyout is, it might not trigger it now, but the seat's getting warm. Like I said, that what was sudden an influx of talent in recent years, maybe it's getting disgruntled. Like I said, maybe it's looking for its way out. So I don't know what to expect from the Vols this year. Is it just going to be like another middle of the road good year? So yeah, and then yeah, like it's the end of last season really saved Napier. The players like banded together and did a good job, but they've got to hit the ground running this year. Like I say, he's on a small leash, not with me, but I think probably the fan base and in general. Like I say, I think they're supremely talented, but yeah, ultimately if things go wrong, it will be him that gets the chop. Like I say, not them. So yeah, it's a big season for them. But yeah, SMU. I mean not made huge strides in the offseason, but I just think that consistency and the lack of ACC really looking to catch up on them and can make a strong case that they're still top 3, 4 team in the ACC right now. Lost some of its talent, but has done a good job placing it. And Rhett Lashley is recognised as one of those coaches that probably getting eyed up, I imagine, pretty soon if he somehow gets them back to like top ending the AP poll or out in like the top 15, top 20. I imagine some big team is going to come and maybe look to activate its clause. like I say, it'd be a big loss. But yeah, he's doing good stuff, like I say, with good players and a fairly, I imagine, inexpensive roster. You give him
Yeah.
some real power, bit of money, and that, like I say, who knows what he could do.
Yeah, I like this little group of guys in it. I think, Cleveland and Kansas State, we're going to see them bounce back this year. Napier, I've been one of his biggest fans there. This is the year for them to prove themselves, especially they're young. They've got a ton of talent on that team, but they just feels like they're ready to make a push, providing Lagway is healthy. That's the only concern with them at the minute. Not seen much about him recently, but I know it's not been great. Jumping into the top 15 and a couple of the legacies here. So we got Lane Kiffin, the old Miss Rebels. If anyone
Yeah.
needs a big season, it is Lane Kiffin. Number 14, Sharon Moore. And the Michigan Wolverines. 13, we've got Shane Beamer and the South Carolina Gamecocks. 12, we've got Brett Bielema and the Illinois Fighting Illini. And then number 11, we've got your guy, right? Kenny Dillingham, the Arizona State Sun Devils. I mean, mixed bag here, but South Carolina, Illinois, these are two that people are expecting a lot of this year. They've been ranked pretty high, but now they've got to prove that they can bite and not just bark.
Yeah, it's a big year for Beamer. It's a big year, I think, for the Gamecocks. They've got what people consider a credible Heisman winning quarterback. I think
Mhm.
that's a fair opinion right now to say. And yeah, with optimism comes pressure. Like I said, there's a lot of talent on that roster, and there's a lot of money, there's a lot of NIL, and it's a passionate fan base. And in recent years, they've flattered to deceive. Like I say, when people say, "Oh, who's the real USC?" Like I say, it's that big old debate. But I say this year they need to prove it. Like I say, but I feel like the coach situation is very stable, but I think Sellers might be the man to do it. I feel
Mhm.
like he might be the one to get him over the hump. I'm not sure what a successful season for USC looks like compared to recent years. It kind of feels like they've got to go 10-2. I feel like anything less than double digits, like say, would that probably would be a disappointing season. And then yeah, Illinois, it's it's a good time right now doing the final line, isn't it? It's you just feel like the fan base, they've finally got around the team, they've kind of galvanized, they're producing some good talent going to the next level. It's a good fan base, and right now, yeah, they're competitive. They're one of those teams you always look for who they're playing each week and think potential big upset right there. Like you say, don't look past them, don't judge them. So yeah, a well coached side.
Exactly. And I put this in the Discord earlier, but for anyone knowing, Illinois are 30 to 1 to make the playoffs. I believe that's, what is it, plus 3,000 over in
My
America
only
if you
issue
do the
with
maths
Sharon
right.
Moore is he's only there because of what he's done at previous positions.
In Michigan at 14, so they're only 1 year removed from a natty.
Yeah.
So
He's there because of
I
what he's
can,
done as part of the staff, like you say,
yeah,
yeah,
yeah, they're only 1 year removed from a
yeah.
natty. I can
They've
buy
got a
that
lot
one.
they've got a lot to prove to me this year.
Ole Miss, he needs to. If he has another
Yeah.
bad year, like
I'm
everyone's
surprised
saying he's doing a good job there, and I
I'm
guess, but
surprised Lane Kiffin's this high.
But they've got a ton of money there. He's spending a ton of money. You sold the transfer class they had last year, and there's still not a lot to show for it. So
Yeah.
you
And
at
he's
least
got
want to be
another
making the
what people
playoffs.
think like another like elite quarterback in Austin Simmons.
Yeah, you at least want to be making the playoffs, especially if teams like South Carolina and that are gonna as well. So
Yeah.
that's a big year for them. It's a big year for him, and especially if he wants to stay up on these. With Illinois as well, I say if people want to have a bet this year, Illinois are plus 3,000 to make the playoffs. Their schedule misses Oregon, Penn State, and Michigan. They've got Ohio State at home. They get USC at home. And then they got Washington and Indiana as well, but their schedule sets up nicely for
That's
them
worth
to
20
make a
quid.
run. It is. That sets up nicely for them to make a run. Because you can make a title game now without facing any of the top opponents if they take wins off one another. And statistically, win-wise, you're one of the best teams in the conferences. They've got a good shot of making the championship game, which alone should give them credence getting into the playoffs. So, this is Illinois are not going to get a better chance than they are this year. So, it's time to put up or shut up. And Altmaier potentially he's one of the most underrated gems at quarterback going in college. It's a big year for him as well, so we'll see what the Illini can do there. In terms of the top 10, number 10, we've got Mario Cristobal and the Miami of Florida Hurricanes. Another huge year for him. No bigger the year than for number 9, Brian Kelly and the LSU Tigers. This is his last hurrah there if they don't make the playoffs. Number 8, you got Kalen DeBoer and Alabama. Number 7, you've got Dan Lanning and Oregon. And then number 6, you've got Dabo Swinney and the Clemson Tigers. Dabo Swinney did get 2 votes for number 1. So, I mean, you're getting into SEC territory a bit here. Obviously, Clemson, a lot is expected of them. Miami needs to be a big year for them. But I think Brian Kelly here, he's got a very talented squad, which is why they're this high, but make or break for him.
Yeah. I think it's make well. I think Kalen DeBoer's under a lot of pressure.
Ooh.
I like him as a coach, like you say, he got a well-earned promotion. But yeah, yeah, they've lost a lot of talent, like you're saying, yeah, it's been good, but I've not felt the spark. I've not felt the Crimson Tide were like at the best before they hired him. Maybe that's not a him problem. I just feel like that program ain't gonna mess around. And I feel like they will pull the plug on him very quickly, whether or not it's his fault. So it's a big job to take because it comes with huge pressure. But I agree, Brian Kelly. You could argue on paper one of the more talented rosters in the nation. He's got stacks of talent at every single position. Like I say, he is absolutely loaded, and he's been loaded now for 2, 3 years, and it's not resulted in anything. And he always irks me as a character. I've never really liked him as his character. And like six, it feels like he's kind of always been an underwhelmer, underachiever, but he always falls up into these great jobs. Dan Lanning, too low. Dan Lanning's a
Yeah.
top 5 coach in the nation. He's proved that to me right now. He's a people person. He's an excellent recruiter. He knows his markets, like say the Pacific players, the Polynesians, like say, he gets the best out of them. He does well in the portal, and he's made Oregon a top 4 or 5 program in the nation. And Swinney, like I said, I know last couple of years ain't been great for Clemson. For me, yeah, I've always been a Dabo guy, another top 5 player, but that's looking as like say probably like last 5, 10 years as a decade. Right now, yeah, it probably is where he deserves to be. But yeah, I'm super high on Clemson. I'm so ready for them to just disappoint me in every single way.
Oh, nothing like the confidence vote there, the dreaded vote of confidence, as they say there from Rye. Yeah, I think they're the most talented team potentially, like all across the board. They're the most talented team this year, and I'm looking forward to them there. Kalen needs to make Keelan Russell his quarterback. Take the
Yeah,
plunge,
I
make the
just
true
throw him in
freshman, make
sinks or
the
swims.
yeah, make the truth. Don't mess around with Ty Simpson. Make Keelan Simpson your quarterback. Build round him. He's your guy. He's young. And then you might get a little bit more leash to let him develop as well. Just make the brave decision. Don't make the safe decision. But yeah, Clemson, and I agree with you, Dan Lanning. I think the only mark against Dan is he's not won a conference championship. Not at least not in recent years. I remember obviously the losses to Utah. Last year they looked so good and they didn't quite bring it in. It's just elevating that final, bringing a championship or a title back. I think that'd be the only thing that's keeping him out there. But then we get into the top 5. At number 5, he'd just been in the Natty last year. Marcus Freeman and the Notre Dame Fighting Irish. At number 4, we got Kirby Smart, the Georgia Bulldogs. They got 3 votes for first place. At number 3, we've got James Franklin and the Penn State Nittany Lions. There were 14 votes
Mhm.
for them to finish first place. Number 2, current national champions Ohio State, the Buckeyes and Ryan Day. They had 20 first place votes.
So if
But
I'm
number
right, that leaves
1,
one coach being first. I can work out who it is.
it's
It's Texas.
Sark. Yep. Sark and the Texas Longhorns, 28 votes. So 8 votes more than Ohio State to be the number 1 ranked team in the country. Obviously, Notre Dame are going through the new quarterback cycle this year, so maybe pinged against them a little bit, but you still expect them to be good. Georgia, you expect to be up there, but I mean, this feels the way people talking about Penn State this year, like this is the year. I keep saying this is the year for him to break the glass ceiling, James Franklin. I feel like I've done that the last 2 years, but I think this is it. I don't think anyone's got behind them this much before. Like, there's not been as much national tremor behind the Nittany Lions, and this year, everybody's all in them. I think is it Joel Clatton that he's got them as number one in the country? A lot of individual observers have them as number one in the country. This is it. Ohio State have been rinsed by the draft. They've got a ton of new starters coming in this year. Michigan are not at the height of their powers anymore. Oregon have been rinsed by the draft. You are returning the best team by far, potentially on paper. I know this top five's there, but this is all about Penn State for me. They do not deserve to be there unless they go the distance this year.
Nah, I'm struggling to make a case for James Frank on this high. The amount of talent that's passed through, like say you had Trace McSorley teams that were some of the best in the country, like you say, and he struggled then. You look at the players that have been through the defenders, the run game has always just been, like say, incredibly good. You've had some great wide receivers. He's had a lot. He's had a great coaching staff around him as well. He's kept those guys. But yeah, they've always been the bridesmaid, never the bride. And like I say, these days, like you say, they're barely the bridesmaid. They're just like they just get to they go to the reception and they're not at the day do. Like say that's how like they feel like they're kind of slipping. But yeah, I feel like this is the season where it all has to come together because you're about to lose two of the best running backs in team history. Well, you probably will lose both. I'd
Well,
expect
you will.
four.
That's it.
Yeah,
They're done.
yeah. You're about to lose Allah. You're about to lose, like say, some more star-studded defensive linemen. Pribula's already gone, so his heir apparent, or like say the backup is already gone. So if you don't do it this year, then next year you're looking at a mini rebuild.
Mm,
And for what he
absolutely.
earns as well, just didn't have the wins are there, like say the wins and losses, but the important ones, the memorable ones, no, they're just not there.
No.
He's the
But
Lane
then,
Kiffin of the
yeah,
Big Ten.
yeah, he
Sent
is.
so many players to draft. He's an incredible coach, person, developer, and everything. But yeah, he's not put it together in his own program.
No, those Vanderbilt days are a long time ago now. It's like, yeah, you did it at the smaller program, you got the big job. Now you've got to really hammer it home at the big
Much as
job.
I'm
This
high,
is
I just feel like Penn State. I just feel like to this, they're just gonna. I feel like they will be the team that leave me the most disappointed this year.
the thing is, I know exactly it's going to be when I stop believing in them that they start doing well. As long as I believe in them and keep pushing this train, they're going to keep disappointing. The second I say Penn State are a bad team, they'll do really well, and
I
I'm
know.
not prepared to do that.
I see 8 or 9 and 0, and they look like they're cruising. And then, like you say, it'll get to the crunch time, end of season, like you say, and then they'll get stage fright.
It's Ohio State they play again. They just physically can't beat Ohio State. Like it just seems to be it is their kryptonite, the Superman. Like it's just, and I think if I remember rightly, they've got to go to the shoe. So just quickly look. So you're at home to Oregon to start, at UCLA versus Northwestern, at Iowa. Then you get a bye, and then you go to the shoe on November 1st. I mean, that's the one. I mean, obviously Oregon week one will be a big test for the or week one
Gonna
of
say,
the
yeah, they could
Big
start
Ten
0-1.
season. So you've got to win both of those, really.
Yeah,
If you can't go to Columbus and beat Ohio State, then I mean, you're never going to. They don't know which quarterback's starting for them there yet. They're still in flux. They've lost a ton of guys there, and it's like you'll never get a better chance to beat them. So interesting. Texas at one. Are you in agreement with that? I mean, this is going to be built off the back of that defense is just so damn good. And then obviously the hype behind Arch this year. I know he's not played much, but he has played. He's got a good running back. He's got the semblance of a good offensive line. He's got a star wide receiver. I can buy it, but I think it is a bit more on
is it
what they could
Sarkeesian
be.
though? I don't know if it's Sarkeesian himself. Yeah, I feel like it's more as a collective.
Yeah, well, this is obviously teams. I've just been
Yeah,
listing the head coaches with them, but I mean, it feels like it's, Colin Simmons, all these tremendous assets they've got there. They should eat on defense this year alone.
yeah.
Arch isn't going to be having
I
to
feel like it's
throw.
gonna team. They're gonna live or die by Arch. Yeah,
Yeah. Arch ain't going to have to throw for 30 points every week to win. He's probably not going to have to throw 20 points most weeks to win, so he just needs to be good. just needs to be good, but I think that's about right for them. Ohio State at 2 I can get with the amount they've lost. I can understand the skepticism not returning them as number 1. Notre Dame at 5, I mean, they could be great. It's just, CJ Carr. How does CJ Carr do? And I assume they're going to go with him now, which will be the right decision. So overall, not got too many issues with that. I mean, just in terms of who is the most overrated team for you out of all these, then when all is said and done, like who should be a lot lower than they are?
Ooh.
For me, it's Ole Miss. I think they should be a lot lower than what they are at 15. I don't really think they should be in the conversation at this point. Again, the amount they've lost to the draft, they got a lot of questions this year, and it's all about whether the new QB is good or not.
Tennessee.
Yeah,
I
I
think
can
they
buy
should be
that.
just on the cusp of inside the 25.
Yeah. Although I do think Joey Aguiar is going to have a tremendous year. I'm looking forward to seeing him there. Brent goes, hoping the Wolverines start Bryce game 1 and ride the storm out all the way to the playoffs. First true freshman to win a natty. If they do that,
I
then,
think they should just. Yeah, I'm a big fan of Mikey Keane, but I feel like for his development, I just give Underwood 12 games.
yeah, yeah, I think you should. I think some teams just got to
Yeah,
bite the bullet with it, put
yeah.
the true
They're not
freshman in.
playing to win the Big Ten this year, in my opinion. You're playing for the future.
Exactly, exactly. You may as well get them in now, get the mistakes out the system, get the green away, the raw away from them a little bit and, and let them flourish. So I'm with you. We should just play and then see how they go on there. But yeah, that is everything in terms of the top 25. So let us move it on. And next we're going to take a look at the Feldman's Freaks. So, as we mentioned already, if you don't know, Bruce Feldman, he is the guy for the Athletic who does a list every year. I think it's usually 101 guys, and basically he goes around and searches college football for the most athletic people possible. These are the guys who are just absolute race warriors. They are absolutely tremendous athletes, and they are the creme de la creme. Maybe not necessarily the best football players per se, but these are the athletes who are absolutely, just next level compared to all the others. It's something that's very much looked forward to amongst the college football world. People see who's making this list and it's out for this year. So, I mean, we're not going to go through all 101. That would be absolutely silly, but we'll break down the top 10 for you and then we'll maybe have a look at down the list at some other guys who are on there. I think you've got a few guys you want to have a look at, don't you, Rye,
Yeah.
with this? Or shall we? Where shall we start here? I don't know. It's obviously a big list. Where do you want to start? Should we start near the bottom and work our way up, or how do you want to do it?
Yeah, we can work our way up from the bottom, yeah.
All right, lovely. So where are we at? So honorable list. Actually, we've got a FCS guy here. So number 101. I think he always does this. He puts in sort of an avant-garde 101 there. But the last on the list is Jermichael McGoy Jr. He's a cornerback from UT Martin, one of the Skyhawks. I know you mentioned them in your FCS recaps there, but who do we want to look at first? Who's sort of towards the bottom of the list for you?
I'm starting at 79, but I don't know if that's too low.
No, go for it. Go
Yeah.
for it.
AJ Pena. So the Rhode Island linebacker. Like I say, the 2024 freshman FCS All-American. I believe he's a freshman, like I say, 6'2", 250. This guy is incredible. Like I say, he is the perfect combination of a linebacker and a safety. He's a gym rat, so he squats, he presses. Like I say, he's one of those guys where everyone circles around him and they're kind of just screaming at him. Like I say, where he's dropping, like I say, 600 pounds on the squat rack. He is a well-built young man to say he's only 6'2", and he is tremendous. So 22 tackles for loss and 12 and a half sacks in his All-American season. He did actually jump up to the FBS. like say, decided to go to the Memphis Tigers, but he did then decide, actually, no, he's going to drop back down and return to the Rhode Island Rams, where I think that's a good decision for him to potentially carry on making a huge name for himself on the next level. This guy's just everywhere, side to side. Like I say, clocks in incredibly fast. He's got hips, he's got flips, he's got everything. He's an incredible athlete. He's the kind of guy that just wants to play on every single down. Strikes me as a future kind of maniac. One of those guys where got a bit of a screw loose, that kind of like say tweener guy that can absolutely just come off the edge and just destroy quarterbacks, but also then has got those crazy athletic skills, like say getting passing lanes and pull off some of those like crazy interceptions that we'll see as his coverage skills impress. So yeah, he's an incredibly impressive player, and he's someone that I imagine between now and whenever he does enter a class cycle, he's going to look at as one of those, like say, potential tweeners at next level and should test incredibly well.
Yeah, so according to Feldman here, so he squats 600 pounds, he benches 375 pounds. He's 6'2", 250 pounds as a linebacker, 22 and a half tackles for loss and 12 and a half sacks just last year. I mean, you big that Rhode Island team up a lot. Like they are
Oh, yeah, they're
chock
a
full of
really
talent.
good FCS team, Rhode Island. The last couple of years, they're getting better.
Yeah. Is he brother to Trebor perchance? Is it the Syracuse wide? I think he's gone to Penn State, hasn't he? Are they
Yeah. I,
brothers
I think
or?
there's a Pena family. Could be related to him, yeah.
Yeah, lovely. So yeah, AJ Pena, the Rhode Island linebacker, comes in at 79. Which number are you up at after that?
I've jumped up 10 places. So Nick Morris. Everyone knows how high I'm super high on the Duke Blue Devils this year. And they're getting this guy back from injury. Like I said, last year, played in one game, had a season-ending injury, and he's one of those guys where integral leader. Once again, you see a lot of trend list of linebackers on this list. 6'3", 230. The guy is built like an outside linebacker. Like I say, he's got pass rush skills. Had a 2023, had 60 tackles, had a sack. One of those guys where kind of rolled in slowly, became a rotational guy. Last year was figured to have a big year, but unfortunately it ended as soon as it started. So the guy's been rehabbing ever since then. But he's coming back with a vengeance. This guy, like I said, can run 21 miles an hour like they've done the dash, put the laser on him. So 21, 22 miles an hour for an outside linebacker is incredibly good. The cones, the footwork, this guy uses every inch he's got. Like I say, he's an incredibly strong athlete, and this year going to come back. I'd expect him to make a strong case to be their leading tackler. And he might even be one of those, like say, one of those guys that has like an all ACC season. I think he's going to come back after a year off. Like I say, there's a lot of chance to get bigger, stronger, faster. Coming towards the end of his college career now, but I think this is a year where fingers crossed stays fit, and if all goes well, maybe more than 12 games. Like I said, I've got Duke. I picked Duke as one of my outsiders to make one of those, like say, last playoff places that could make a push in the ACC. And this guy's going to be one of the guys anchoring the middle, side to side. He'll just be absolutely everywhere, coming down home and making guys pay. He's a punisher when he's on the field. So yeah, I'm very excited to see him back on the field this year.
Yeah, so that is Nick Morris, the Duke linebacker. Looking to him, it's his second consecutive year on the Freaks list as well. So despite injury, he is still up there. I got a couple of my guys just above this, so clocking in at number 66. Yeah, it's an NC State Wolfpack guy. So Jaden Scott, he is running back for us. So he's redshirt freshman this year. He's 5'11", 214 pounds. One of the strongest running backs probably in college football for us. So 375 pounds that he power cleaned this year. He squats 550. This guy's an he's smaller, but he's an absolute chunky, just like boulder that just absolutely destroys whatever is in front of him. He runs a 4:35.40 though. He runs a 4:23 shuttle. He can vert 38 inches. Like he looks like he's not the most athletic guy in the world, but he is super quick and he's going to be backing up Hollywood Smothers this year. I am so excited about our running back pairing at NC State this year. This guy's the second. He's coming into his redshirt freshman year. He's ready to go. These two are going to absolutely, but he is an absolute athletic monster as well. So Jaden Scott there at NC State. Looking forward to him. And then right above him at 65, one of the players from my team to watch this year, Kyle Louis, the Pittsburgh linebacker. Now, Ryan talks about his love for linebackers. This is kind of my love for linebacker right here. Like I say, he's the star linebacker at Pitt, so they drop him into coverage, former safety. He's a blitzer in that Pat Narduzzi scheme. He does everything you want him to do, and he's just super quick. These linebackers at Pitt, these outside linebacker guys. So he got a pick six last year at Syracuse, one of the many who picked off Kyle McCord that day. Returned it 60 yards, clocked 21 and a half miles per hour on his return. He can broad jump at 10-3. He's all over the field. And again, to kind of do that star linebacker role, you have to be athletically fit to drop into coverage, to rush the passer, to do all your middle linebacker stuff. A lot is asked of you, and you've got to be super athletic to do that. So yeah, Kyle Louis up there as well. He is absolutely tremendous, and I can't wait to watch him and that Pitt defense play this year. How high are you up for your next one?
I'm jumping, making a big jump here to 39. So I don't know if you want to fill it in here.
In 39, let me just check my list here. I think I am up there. If I'm less, let me just quickly check the list out again. No, I think you are good to go at 39. Who have we got at 39?
So 39, we've got Alexander Hornig. Now, I've known about this guy a long time because I watched the GFL, the German Football League. So this man was a quarterback for the German national team and the Schwabisch Hall Unicorns as a youth player. Also played for multiple teams all around Germany. So he was an incredibly bright talent all the way from the youth up. And he got scouted a couple of years ago to get a scholarship to America. So yeah, so he's 6'7". So he's from Bavaria, Germany, and he has played a multiple of positions. So he's been able to pass. He's also played tight end. So he started TCU. Like I say, they worked him out. He worked their way on. I think, I'm not sure if he got a scholarship or came on as a walkthrough. He came through a program which helped European players get into college football, and he successfully made the transition and moved over a couple of years ago. He's never seen the field all that much or got involved in the players, but he now, like I say, is at Connecticut, so a Yukon Husky. But people are just enamored by this guy that is an absolute skyscraper. Like I say, 6'7", 270, reportedly just 14% body fat. This guy, for his whole life, since he was, like, say, a young teenager, has been working out, has been playing football. Like I said, made a successful career in pro gym football at that height as a quarterback, which is crazy. This guy is built like the Pokemon Aerodactyl. Like, the arms are just, they're crazy. Like I say, he's just so long. Everything about him, and it just continues to intrigue people. So he's getting very strong now. There are people thinking, like, say, that he may get like a UDFA or multiple team workouts as an offensive tackle because he's used to blocking, because he's got that big frame. 270 pounds, he's got room to put another 20, 30 pounds on being 6'7". So someone will get him in the dietitian's room, bulk him up. But the guy is just a tremendous athlete. And I could see him somehow making the transition to maybe be, like, say, a third swing tackle in the NFL. It feels like it's his future there. He's been good at tight end, but he's not had a couple of works. But yeah, the story being young, the international pathway program, and the frame he's got means he's destined to be on multiple workouts or NFL rosters in the future just because of being, yeah, he is a unicorn, like I say. And the story as well, like I say, that he's just grown up playing football abroad. So yeah, I've always followed his journey, and yeah, it's coming to an end, but I feel like he's going to make it as a pro. I'm just not sure where or how yet.
Yeah, his story is very intriguing. So Feldman lists here like he cleans 395 pounds. It's the most that the Yukon strength coach has ever seen in his 16 years in the business doing this. He's got 11-inch hands. Like that's like bigger than my face. Like these things are absolute monsters. He can bench 30 reps at 225. He can jump 36, broad jump 10.5. Like it just, and like you said, 14% body fat on a 6'7", 270-pound frame. I mean, 11-inch hands. You could catch two footballs in an 11-inch hand span. And you're witnessing history here because Ryan, for the first time ever, has more run depth on a Yukon Husky than I do. So this is big. The guy's going to be potentially really special. But yeah, one of many Huskies to watch this year, Alex Honig there. What number are you up at next?
Now, I mean, it's cheating, but if I go to 30 Thor, everyone.
I knew you were going to
Yeah.
stop there, but do it, do it. No, go
Yeah,
on.
it's Bryce Lance. Come on, everyone knows I'm going to pick him there. Yeah, he thoroughly deserves to be here. Like I say, I've already done. I think I've mentioned him like twice in like shows, like probably like 6 months. But yeah,
Yeah,
the NDSU, Trey's brother, 6'3", 205 pounds, a potential very considerable draft pick this year. Like I say, 40-inch vertical jump, broad jump 10-10, 17 touchdowns last year, tied the record in his conference, and he was, I believe, tied. Oh, and he was just behind Nick Nash for second overall in most touchdown receptions in the whole country. By far one of the best products right now in FCS football. He is the real deal. He's got big hands, he's got long arms, he's very hardworking. He's an all-round athletic guy, and that just kind of oozes X position. He is an outside guy. He uses every bit of physical strength. And like I said, I'm delighted to see him this far up on the list as well. I thought it'd be there, but yeah, people now are starting to recognize it. Anyone that thought like a year or two ago, like, oh, we'll get him for like a third, like I said, day three pick. No, the guy have to think again. He's gonna have another storming year this year. I've got a feeling he's gonna be such a quick riser like his brother. It could get dizzy how high we hear his name called after this year.
yeah. That is Bryce Lance of ND State and NDSU at 34. Speaking of German tight ends, by the way, just behind him on the list at
I saw,
35.
yeah, Michigan's tight end.
Marlin Klein from Michigan. So he was number 90 on the list last year. He's up to 35 now. Only caught 13 catches for 108 yards last year, but he was named the most improved player on Michigan's offense. He's 6'6", 250 pounds and can run just about 22 miles per hour. He can run the three cone faster than Colston Loveland, who was considered, he was considered to be pretty damn quick doing the three cone, and he could do it quicker than him. And no tight end at the combine was as quick as him doing the three cone this year. So in terms of his fitness, he's just absolutely crazy. He did a short shuttle 425, would have been the fastest of any tight end at the combine as well. So
Checking
he's
his
an
Instagram. I'm trying to see where he must have played football in Germany.
He's yeah, so I think it's coming into year three maybe now at Michigan, but Marlin Klein there, you would expect him, especially now Loveland is gone, to really make an impact on that Wolverines team this year. Who knows if Bryce Underwood likes him? Marlin Klein there at Michigan. Yeah, he's did you find him at one?
Uh, no, I can't see anywhere. Let's say must
Must
have
be
moved
over.
here young. But there's a big influx of GFL and German talent in college football right now. That they
Yeah.
yeah, they make them big. Swedes and Germans, I've noticed, like say, tight ends, offensive linemen, D tackles. There's huge programs right now that are sending these guys to big colleges.
Yeah, absolutely. You're noticing. I say probably if he played in the GFL, you'd have known about it as well. So it kind of makes sense that probably he's not been over there. So we're up at 34. Lenoris Sellers just in front at 33. Just goes to show, he freakishly athletic as well has been a great dual threat quarterback there. He can hit over 22 miles per hour. So as a runner, he's absolutely crazy. Which number are you at after 33? How high are we going now?
And there's another tight end I like, at 26, CC Ethereum. So the Toledo tight end. So this guy is just massive. He's not seen really any production, like I say, in 2 seasons. Like I say, he's not someone that's put up stats, doesn't get a lot of balls, but he's one of those guys where outstanding blocker. Like I said, 6'7", 245. Like I say, he's skinny and tall, but he's got one of those builds that just makes him a real imposing threat on the end of any offensive line. So he's someone like I said, 505 pound squats. He's been clocked at 22.17 miles an hour. Like I said, that's crazy for someone that runs that upright. His build at all should not make him quick in a straight line because of all the resistance. Like I say, it's like a skyscraper running. So he is incredibly good. 10-10, like I say, vertical jump. Oh, 39 inches, broad jump 10-10. This guy is just an all-around absolute freak. And like I said, Toledo, big year for them. And like I say, coming into his third year now as a true junior, this might be the year that he kind of puts it together and becomes a bit of a focal point in the offense because he's still been learning his trade that big. But yeah, he feels too big to go to waste. But another guy that, if puts weight on, may well project somewhere on an offensive line or maybe is a a defensive end or a DT at next level. It's just yeah, there's just too much there right now, talent wise.
I think now an NFL fan, didn't Hosea, his brother, just go through the draft process? He was a
Yes.
HBCU talent, if I remember. Hosea Ezerim's just, I don't know whether he got on a roster or not, but part of an NFL family now, potentially. And then just above him, 25, I'm glad you stopped at 26. Yes, there is an Iowa State Cyclone on here. Dominique Orange, the defensive tackle, comes in at 25, and I absolutely love Dominique Orange. If the Lions weren't so stacked with nose tackles and stuff right now, I'd probably be looking at him for next year's draft as a genuine thing. But this is his second year on the freaks list. He's not been this high before. He's 6'4", 325 pounds. He benches 450, squats 650. He can clean 370. He can vert 34 inches, which for a 300 plus pound lineman is pretty good. This guy is so athletically good. When it comes against the run game, like he's going to be one of the best D tackles in the Big 12 full stop this year. And it's down to this freakish athleticism for a big 325-pound DT. He is going to go high in the draft. I am guaranteed of that. The pass rushing numbers are not great, but purebred nose tackles are wanted very much in the NFL, especially for your run defense stuff. But he is one of the most athletically gifted D tackles in the entire country. It's not just my Cyclone bias here, but yeah, Dominique Orange, really looking forward to seeing what he can do this year. But I'm glad he is so high up this list because you just watch him, he is absolutely crazy. What number are you up at next after this?
So honorable mention at number 18. He's not the player named, but I had a look at this. So Georgia Tech's got a player called Will Kiker, a safety. And technically by metrics, he is one of the strongest players in all the nation. 6'1", 195 pounds, but he can squat 635 pounds of 3 times the weight. Like I said, by that measurement, that makes him one of the strongest players in the country, purely from what he weighs to what he can squat. And he can also clean and jerk nearly 400 pounds. A redshirt sophomore as well, so he's a quite a young player coming in that should feature big this year. But yeah, that's scary. This guy, like I say, true freshman, like I say, played in 6 games last year, so primarily in special teams. But yeah, just lives in the gym, like I say, and just constantly training, working out, like I say. So he could be a name to watch out for this year.
Yeah. All right, absolutely. I will go up to
No
16
way.
next.
I thought you were going to 15.
Well, so what we'll do is we'll get to 15 and we'll list the top 15 out because, that we're
Yeah.
right at the top
You
of the
get the
list
household
here.
names, like I say, a lot of these guys now, but yeah, there's very interesting names in there.
Exactly, but potentially the Lions might be looking for a tackle next year. I don't know what's going on with Manu, etc. But there's one who you really should have your eyes on. So Francis Mauigoa from Miami, the offensive tackle there. So he started 26 games at right tackle. He's played every single game since he arrived as a true freshman on that team. He got all ACC second team honors last year. He's 6'6", 335 pounds. He can clock a 1.57 second 10-yard split. That is that is crazy for an offensive lineman. He is super fit in terms of all the run game stuff for Mark Fletcher and these guys. Like he's out of his stance so quickly. He can get to the perimeter like lightning. So his power output registers about 10,000 watts, which is most on the team. The dude is super strong. He can run at nearly 19 miles per hour as well for an offensive lineman, which is absolutely insane. He's a former 5-star who has just lived up to his reputation ever since he got there. I mean, he may not go to the draft this year, but I think 3 years of starting at right tackle I think that'll be enough. I think someone's going to go after him right away. He could probably do both sides as well, but when you're doing a 157 10-yard split, I mean, that's just insane for an offensive lineman. And yeah, big year for Miami. He's going to be a big part of that. Got to keep Carson Beck upright. So see if he can do the pass protection stuff just as good. We'll go to number 15 then. So we'll do the top 15. 15, Eli Stowers, Vanderbilt tight end. Well, I stand Eli Stowers. Well, we stand Eli Stowers here. Obviously, quarterback, 4-star recruit to Texas A&M years ago. Didn't really go the way he wanted it to. Ended up at New Mexico State with Diego Pavia. Those two did really well on that team. And then they followed their head coach over to Vanderbilt, where Stowers has just, we called him a Taysom Hill clone for a long time. He can throw the ball. They use him as a running back. They use him as a receiver, but he's really found his home at tight end. Had 638 yards and 5 touchdowns last year. Dominated Alabama. 6 catches for 113 yards in that massive upset. He was, the deciding domino in that performance there. But he can broad jump 11'3", which is crazy. Does a 39-inch vert. He can run at 21.5 miles per hour as this big 6 foot tight end. I mean, 235, he is a little light, but I mean, there's no doubt it, right? Like Vandy have found a way to utilize him properly in his game, and he is going to have Taysom Hill upside in the NFL, but with that crazy form of athleticism as well, that is not going to hurt his chances. There has been first round chatter. He's probably going to be gone in the top 2 days, like at the top of day two, worst if he has another year like he does. But no doubt, phenomenal athlete and very, very versatile of the likes you don't see very often.
No, he's just a true weapon. Like I say, he's just got that perfect in-between build where he can stand in the backfield. He's a tight end. He's a receiver. Like I say, he's a gadget player. Hell, someone will probably say kick punt returns at the NFL. Like I say, he's got it all. Like I say, he's very well put together. He's a guy that kind of just gets it, can kind of just learn a whole playbook. He doesn't just know his position. He will learn everyone's job because at some point in the season, he will ask to be do it. Like I say, if someone goes down with an injury for like one player, he'd play guard and he probably could just push someone out of the way, or he'd at least hold his own. He's that kind of guy that is just figure. And yeah, I think he's going to go a lot higher than people think in the draft, purely for the. He's one of those where in certain schemes in the NFL, he's just going to flourish. Yeah, hate to get someone like Ben Johnson. Don't need a tight end anymore now, but someone like say if they're going to have fun with him, he was a player that'd love him. Or like say someone like say the Ravens. Like say you question Mark Andrews' future there now, don't they? Like he's
Hmm.
coming to like say he's getting all like say someone that could fit into that offense, but Stowers. He will see the field in a facet of ways. So I feel like the gadget and the whole Taysom Hill thing like used to be like a joke, but now it kind of just is a real thing, and it kind of
Yeah.
just fits Stowers perfectly, really.
Yeah, absolutely. He's well deserved to have been in the top 15 there, and I'm looking forward to hopefully him having another year. Intrigued to see what people look at him as at the draft next year. It's going to be a very interesting profile. That's for one. A lot of people always draft him to Denver because obviously Sean Payton's had a guy like him before, but we will see. At number 14, it's the Don Corleone, the D tackle from Cincinnati. He's been on this list 3 years in a row. Played 34 games, super experienced. He's only 6 foot, but he's 336 pounds, but he moves like he's about 180 pounds. He can clock a 1.7 second 10-yard split. He can do a 744 three cone. This would have been amongst the top in DTs in the draft this year. I think he had a little bit of an injury issue last year, which because I thought he would have gone to the draft, but he's up there. At number 13, Landon Robinson of Navy, and you talk about guys who are just. I'm surprised he's not higher, right? A nose tackle who can run over 20 miles per hour. He's only a 290-pound nose tackle, but still, he's at 6 foot, 286 pounds. Absolute monster for Navy last year. Like Navy, they kept Army down to their lowest rushing yards of the year by it was like a third of what they normally got just because this guy was absolutely dominating. All those great offensive linemen they got, he gave up absolutely nothing to them. He rushes. He did the fake. They did the fake punt against Army where he ran for about 30 odd yards. Did that there, but I mean another one. Benches 465, squats 665, power cleans 350. He convert 33 inches, and like I say, he hits over 20 miles per hour on the GPS. You just don't see nose tackles run at 20 miles per hour. Plus, even at that size, I'm surprised he's not higher. To be fair.
I am purely because he's playing at a position where you usually just think to yourself like, yeah, you need to be heavy, you need size, you need stout, but no, a lot of players in the recent years like, have kind of rewritten the position. Like say that have been these smaller interior guys like uh who was it the Bucks drafted? It's at Pittsburgh.
Oh, you're thinking Kalijah Kancey.
Yeah, like you say, and like I say, not a nose tackle, but as an interior defensive tackle at 6 feet. That's all. They're only like 6 foot tall. Like I feel like we really are now seeing, like say, the future of these smaller guys, and especially for what Navy wants to do. Like you say, they need these guys to be agile. They're asking a lot to do with them. Like you say, these formations, a lot of changes here. I think, like you say, he could be higher on this list just for how integral he is to that team and what they want to do. And like you say, so yeah, he's incredibly talented, good player. I think there's going to be a lot of positions out there. There's going to be a lot of ways to get him on the field at the next level.
Yeah, absolutely. Number 12, you've got Arian Carter, the linebacker out of Tennessee. At number 11, we've got Kenyon Sadiq, the tight end at Oregon, and rounding out well, going into the top 10, we've got Sonny
One of
Styles, the
my
Ohio
favorite players in
State.
the whole country.
Yeah, I
I've
thought
already
I thought
penned
that
him
might be
as an
the number.
Alexander Loney replacement.
I thought that might be the number we got. I assume this is the next number on your list. Sonny Styles
Oh yeah.
is okay. I'll hand over to him. Sonny Styles at number 10.
Oh, if a top linebacker and a top safety had a baby, like say, like, and you implanted that embryo into someone, you'd give birth to Sonny Styles. Like say, he is just he's not a tweener because that to him is disrespectful because he is just an outstanding plays 4 downs, moves around like a chess piece. He's got so many Kyle Hamilton traits. I love Nicky Manwara, like I say, and that they he gives me them vibes, like I say. He is incredibly physical, like the hits he delivers are devastating. He comes down hard, he is just a heat-seeking missile. But in coverage as well, he's absolutely outstanding. He goes left to right and right to left and backwards incredibly well. He is someone, like I said, do not test him in the passing game. Like I said, because he is so rangy. He is someone, like I said, it's 22, 23 mile an hour potential, 6'4", 243. He has got that tremendous build. He's got long arms. He's got long legs. He takes these big strides, covers ground incredibly well. I mean, yeah, the tape there's there. He's young. He's 20. He'll be 21 by the time he hits the pros. You're gonna get him a long time. He's got all the traits of a. He's got all the talent and everything to be a first round draft pick. Like I say, I feel like he's like a top 50 kind of player. We just saw Carson Schwarzenegger go at, was it 34, 35?
34, I think it was.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I feel like I'm already in that range, like a top 40 kind of guy. This guy is going to be one of the most integral players on the entire Ohio State roster. And yeah, I would love him.
Yeah.
Any defense would be happy to have him next year. He can just fit into so many schemes no matter what front you run.
Yeah, he can broad jump 11 foot. He can vert jump 40. He squats nearly 700 pounds. He's got 10% body fat on him, so he is just pure muscle. And like Ryan says, he is a linebacker who is built like a safety but moves like, a DB. Like he's absolutely insane. And I'm so looking forward to him this year. So, um he hit 23 and a half miles per hour at his worst last year, like nearly 24
Mm.
miles an hour.
That's
This
Jameer
guy,
Gibbs' speed, and Jameer
yeah.
Gibbs is 5'9.5".
And how many times you see him, like the closing speed is phenomenal. Like when he gets the ball in his sight and he knows he can
The
make a play on
brakes on
it.
it.
Yeah, it's like Roadrunner. Like he's there and he hits you and oh my God, he is absolutely amazing. So yeah, Sonny Styles very much going to be looked at in the draft this year, but not surprised he's there at number 10 and he's not even the highest graded Buckeye on the team, which is just insane. At number 9, we've got Keldrick Folk, the edge from Auburn. So he's 6'6", 285 pounds. He can squat 700. He bench presses 420. He is another who he's just an absolute Iron Man on what has been a really poor team, but we've got high hopes for Auburn this year. He could be one of the first edge players drafted next year. At number 8, you've got Zane Durant, the D tackle from Penn State, who is the most overhyped player in years for me. They're all talking about him as being an absolute stud in the draft this year. The production does not match everything they say about him, but there is no doubt that he is an absolutely freakish defensive tackle. Like Penn State, they build him right there. So he's ran a 4.66 40 for a D tackle, which is just that's crazy. Now that's high linebacker speed there for a D tackle, and he's about 290, so he's still pretty heavy. Number seven, you got Logan Jones, the center out of Iowa. Obviously, former basketball player. Those guys are always really good when it comes to their athleticism. But he set the program record this year for squats at Iowa, 705 pounds. I mean, I just couldn't even imagine looking at a weight that big, let alone trying to lift the damn thing. But he convert 37. He's got a 153 10-yard split and a 409 shuttle. Again, if you don't go center this year, right? Like Dan Campbell will love. We've talked about Logan Jones before on the center show. Like he's got all the technical tools and everything, and the sixth highest ranked athlete in the country. If they go Ratledge at right guard this year and keep Graham at center, and they do decide they're going to get a proper center instead, he's going to be number one on the list for them. Like
Yeah.
he's just got everything they
It won't even
want.
cost you a first round pick either. Like say,
No,
it could be a second round steal and it could be a plug and play.
absolutely, he will be. And then just doing number six, Dominic McKinley, the D tackle out of LSU. Was a five-star last year. Saw some snaps on the side, got 3 sacks. Just a young, true freshman. But expect to hear his name a lot this year, especially on an LSU team that's going to be going towards the playoffs. It was really funny. Their strength coach, they said when they got him into the building, they didn't have enough weights for him on the bar because he lifted all the weights they got. Like he's absolutely insane. Considering he's a true freshman, he's 6'6", 308 pounds already, and he's just come out of high school. I mean, this is where you do get to the really freakish
What do they feed?
guys
What they feed
on
in them?
this list. I've no idea, but it's crazy. And then the top five. I mean, there are some just wonderful athletes here in the top five. So at number five, you've got Peter Woods, the D tackle from Clemson, who is already predicted to be a top five pick next year. Just ever since he was a true freshman in 2023, he's just absolutely destroyed everything that they put in front of him. He's a power speed guy. He's 300 plus pounds, but he's sorry, what is he? So obviously, he's top five on the team in muscle mass. That was when he arrived as a true freshman. So his body was already in like elite athlete shape. A lot of these guys come out of high school, the body's not ready. His was already ready to go. That's why he's played since. Benches 490, 34 reps on 225. He squats over 700 pounds again. He runs a 486 40-yard dash. He convert 30. And that's again as a 6'3" guy who's 300 pounds plus. He's gonna be a top five pick this year, right? But I mean, it's just he's looked after himself. Like Dabo, he gets taps for the recruits and that, and not bringing them out, but he gets the guys out of high school. And you see all these true freshmen on this team who are ready to go there, and like top five on the team in muscle mass, looking after your body as a true freshman, and he's just started and dominated ever since. Like that's why he's so good. He just gets these guys out of high school who are machines and ready to go.
Yeah, he was. Yeah, whatever high school they're at, they just got him ready. They ingrained into him everything he needed to be. They got him ready for this very one, like I say, where he needed to be going into college. So it's a credit to these high school staff and coaches as well that they give them the facilities, the dietitians, everything they need, and then they come in. Like I say, it's very easy for DTs to like say struggle with weight issues. Like I say, especially when they play between DT and D end, but like I say, they're always kind of battling that want to be strong but also want to be agile. Peter Woods is the sweetest of sweet spots of, like I say, 483. That ain't no slouch. Like I say, that's faster than, like I say, 6'6", 300-pound offensive tackles. This guy, like I say, is shorter and stouter with shorter legs. Yeah, he's an incredible athlete. But yeah, yeah, top six, top seven draft pick. He will be off the board next year. If you want him next year, then you best be ready to give away your 2027, 2028 capital. Go up and get him.
Yeah, absolutely. And he's not even the highest rated D tackle on this list because right in front of him, we've got another one, Amaury Washington out of Oregon, 6'3", 338 pounds. He is like the numbers for him are crazy. So he has clocked 20.89 miles per hour, just shy of 21 miles per hour for a 340 pound 6'3" D tackle. He squats over 750 pounds. He benches nearly 500. He power cleans 390. 10 tackles, 1.5 tackles for loss last year. He's been working his way into this team, but there's no Derek Harmon this year. There's no Jamari Caldwell this year. This is going to be the year of Amari Washington. And I mean, the numbers he does right are scary. And if he adds the technical side to the game and they've got him ready in rotation to go this year, you're going to look at afterwards maybe one of the most disruptive interior presences in the entire country this year.
Yeah, like say Caldwell, Harmon, Birch, three starters on that D line, Jordan Birch, all drafted, all gone. That's big holes, like say all over left. And like say, yeah, it's going to be the only thing that could hold him back is technique, and like say his IQ and his acumen. He's got the physicals down. He's got everything he needs to succeed now, and now he's got that opportunity. So he could be a guy that a lot of people watch for very carefully this year because he's now going to be looked to fill the big gaping hole that's left by those players' departures. So yeah, we're going to see really how well his practice is and how well he's been working on his moves and his hands and his footwork. But yeah, everything else is there. It's just like I say, he needs to put it all together, and if he does, then yeah, he could have a dominant season.
Yeah. And then we got the top three. Number three, he's been number one on this list for the previous 2 years beforehand. Ever since he stepped foot in college, he's been thought of as one of, if not the best athlete in the entire game. But he's losing a tiny little bit of that now to refine his game. And I'm really in danger here for one of the
I'm
first times
conflicted
ever.
about him.
I don't like just athletes. And especially at wide receiver, I don't just like athletes. They've got to have the technical ability. They've got to have the know-how. They've got to be more than speed. And we just started seeing last year the development of a receiver in him. At number three is Nick Harbour, the South Carolina wide receiver. So as mentioned, he was back-to-back number one player, and that was as a true freshman. He had 26 catches for 376 yards and three touchdowns last year in a room where it was spread around a lot. But when you say his combination of size and speed is rare, it is rare. He's bigger than most defensive ends in college, but he's faster than every receiver in college football. He topped out last year 23.6 miles per hour. He's 6'5", 245 pounds. He's ran the 100-meter dash in 10.11 seconds, which is more than some Olympic sprinters can do. He's done the 200 in 20 seconds, 20.2 seconds. He is 5% body fat. I mean, it's the perfect athlete, the pure athlete. He is what you go into a laboratory to create if you're creating an athlete, and Nick Harbour is what you get. And yes, there needs to be a lot more improvement there, but you did see last year him starting to get involved in games more, to start learn that side. He's got a long way to go, but I mean, as an athlete, you'll not find anything better at all in college football.
No, I separate Nick Harbour the athlete and Nick Harbour the football player. As the athlete, like you say, yeah, he is just yeah, he's he's Calvin Johnson-esque, like you say, but faster. Like you say, he's got those treats. He's got the straight line speed. He's got the muscle, the gym. He's got the appreciation for working out. The diet must be impeccable. The nutrients, the minerals, the dietitian, everything. Like you say, he looks after himself incredibly well. I feel like I've never liked him at receiver, but I feel like it's too late for him to change. I would have liked to see him come in, like say, college football's defensive end or an outside linebacker. I just struggle to see him now and feel like he's going to play pro football. I feel like he'll get tons of interest. Like I say, I feel like, yeah, I can't see him play pro receiver. I feel like it's going to be one of those, like, they'll be like, can you try tight end? Like I say, can you play D end? Like I say, yeah, I'm conflicted with him. Like I say, I can't fault him on the list because, like I say, he's just outstanding. This year, I want to see a big improvement because, like I say, he's been here, like I say, 3 years now. He's running out of college football, and I need to see it come together. Like I say, he needs to be the guy.
I mean, spoiler for later, he is going to be my rider. I am going to go back
Yeah.
on the athletic train. I'm going to do it. I
I want to
don't
see
do it very
Sellers
often.
force him like
Yeah,
50, 60 passes this year.
yeah. And I want to see him hit all three levels of the. I want to see him use that speed and agility to hit all over. Because if he does, Christ, I mean, he could be the top
He's
receiver in a
potentially the
draft.
next DK
Yeah,
Metcalf because he's
yeah,
also a 10, 100
yeah,
meter 20, like you say.
yeah.
This guy could be an Olympian.
Yeah, oh, absolutely. Probably he would have a future of it if he doesn't get into college ball, but I mean, he's crazy. So Nick Harbour there is at number three. At number two, you will never see an offensive tackle this freaky in your entire time. Caden Proctor out of Alabama. He is 6'7", 366 pounds. His body has 274 pounds of lean muscle mass. He's got 26% body fat, but for an offensive lineman, that's the strength numbers are awesome. So he squatted 815 pounds. He benched 535 pounds. He power cleaned over 400. But that's not even the crazy part of it. He can vertical jump 32 inches. He can broad jump 9 foot 3 at 366 pounds. To put into perspective, the 32-inch vertical that he did was more than five receivers at last year's combine. He jumped higher than LeJohntay Wester did in the vert. LeJohntay Wester weighs 203 pounds less than him, and he jumped higher in the vert. He is the left tackle for Alabama. He was in the All SEC freshman team last year. By standards and numbers, it was pretty rough year for him. But left tackle at one of the biggest teams in the country, in the hardest conference in the country, it's a trial by fire. But I mean, those are video game numbers. Those are numbers you don't do at 370 pounds. You don't vert over 33. You don't jump over 9 foot. You don't bench 800. I mean, he is. You look at him and it's just like that's not. He's not human, but he is. And if he gets his act together, that's a number one overall pick in a draft. If he carries on going the way he's going.
Yeah. He has got the tool. He has been blessed with, like I say, just incredible stats. You see photos of him next to other players, and you think they're coaches or like people's dads. He's just that big. He stands next to, like, say, reporters on the sideline, and he makes it look like Polly Pocket. Like it's just the mic's just like up here, and it's outstanding. Yeah. Like I say, yeah, the freshman year, the numbers, like I say, so far the grades haven't been great, but he's trying to learn how to use his body and play the hardest position, I think, on offense in football. But if this all clicks and comes together, which I think it should do if it improves this year, we're talking yes. We're talking, like I said, in a year where it's got shaky quarterback play, potentially a first overall draft pick in 2027 onwards.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. He is
The guy makes
absolutely.
Sewell look small and slow.
Yeah, yeah, he does, and that's crazy because Penei Sewell is
He's
is
an
like a
incredible athlete.
Penei Sewell is a generational athlete, and this guy could blow him out of the water. He could truly be one of a kind when he's said and done at the offensive tackle position. And there will be teams who could mortgage 2, 3 years of their future to go get this guy, if he proves to what he's going to be. Because you need a franchise left tackle, and he screams 10, 12 year franchise left tackle who's going to be like a 6, 7 time all pro. So obviously he's got a long way to go yet, but that's why he's on this list. This is the athletic background is what is going to, um, you know, get him into the NFL. So that's Caden Proctor at two, and then to finish this all off at number one. I mean, this is what's really scary because this guy is maybe already the best receiver in the nation. And he's only just been a true freshman. Like you took a lot of these athletes have got the skills have to catch up with the athleticism. In this guy's case, the skills match the athleticism, and it's just absolutely scary about what he's going to do. There's been so many great receivers come out of this team in recent years, and this one might just put them all to shame. Jeremiah Smith is number one on this list. And what is scary here, Rye, one of the best receivers in the country, the number one guy on Feldman's Freaks list. He's not 20 until after Thanksgiving. He's still 19 years old at this point. Led the country in receptions 50 yards plus down the field. He's 6'3", 223 pounds, and he's just the most biggest, the strongest, the fastest in terms of what you're going to get at receiver. So he can bench over 20, 225 pounds 20 times, which for a receiver is really damn good. He's got an 11 plus foot broad jump. He does a nearly 40-inch vert. He clocks 23 and a half miles per hour on the GPS, and he's 223. This is not like a rapid 180, 170 guy. He's the best part of 225 pounds, and he's still going at 23 and a half miles per hour. He can squat 550 as well. Like, he is the epitome, like the diet, everything is about how he can get fitter, how he can get stronger, and that's the scary thing about him, right? Out of all these 15 on here, he's the most complete player already in terms of everything, in terms of his receiver skills. And he's got the highest bound of athleticism in the country. He could go to the NFL tomorrow and he probably wouldn't struggle. And he's just about to enter his true sophomore year. This is truly scary how good he's going to be potentially.
Yeah, I'm with you. There'll be no hanging around in college this season, then next season, and you're talking maybe first overall pick in 2027, depending on what happens with the draft cycle of QB. But I'd feel pretty safe. Like I said, if the Lions, like I said, I didn't want to use 2027 first overall on Jeremiah Smith. He's the finished product, but he's also, like I say, he's not the finished product because he's just, yeah, I hate the word raw, but yeah, he's
He's a
raw, but
baby. He's a
also
baby. He's
he's a
19.
baby. But like I say, yeah, he can't get much bigger. He doesn't have to get much bigger, get much stronger. He just has to get more polished. He just needs polish because it's all already there. Like I say, he doesn't even need to learn the playbook. I could just put him out there, give him a route, and I know he's going to beat someone. Like I say, he could probably do this stuff, like say, one arm time behind his back. Yeah, you're talking. Yeah, he's going to come into the league straight away and just be, yeah, maybe generational. I don't like that word. It's bandied about too often, but yeah, like I say, him and Ryan Williams, both credit. They look polished and pro ready as freshmen. Like that's just insane. Two receivers in the same class that just come in straight away and look like they're doing grown man things against boys.
He's got like DK Metcalf level athleticism mixed with Amon Ra dedication and a route tree that would put some of the best to shame. It's again, it's 1 year and you can go hyperbole, but I mean, this is again what is so scary. Like his receiver skills are already at where his athletic skills are, and they're just going to keep going. And the only thing that can really stop him at this point is injury. And we pray to God we don't, because I want to see him just absolutely wreck the NFL when he's ready. So, Jeremiah Smith is your number one on the Feldman's Freaks list this year. Obviously, if you want to check
Who
out
are
the
the
entire
snubs?
list,
Was I'm very surprised. No Caleb Downs.
is he not on the
He's not
101
on the
at
list.
all? That is
And
shocking.
he was in 20. I could have sworn he was near the top of 2024 because he's an elite
Yeah,
returner as well. He's not in this list.
yeah.
I think that's
Um,
crazy.
it is. Actually, I'm shocked. I've not. I've looked through most of the list. I just assumed he was on
So
there.
he's not in the 101.
Either that or there's just 100 absolutely crazy athletes on there. But yeah, that is your list. So if you want to go and see the whole thing, like I say, it's on the Athletic now. It's free to read. It's not one of the Athletic's paid ones. But yeah, that is
It
the
must take
Feldman's.
it must take crazy amount of time to put that list together.
Yeah, and he's so in depth with it as well. Like he talks to the
How do you
strength.
find all these times they run? Like you must go through all their high school film to find when they ran track because
They probably
they're
send
not
them
running
to
track in
him.
college. Like say, yeah, he
They
must spend
probably
like say the whole year writing each list.
they probably send the profile to him and they send him the tape and he
Yeah,
watches
he
it.
must
But
need everything from all these schools. Like I'm going to include your player.
yeah. But it truly is a unique concept, which is why we like to do it. So hopefully, all of you listening have enjoyed that, going through some of the Feldman's Freaks ones. Like I say, go to the Athletics, free to read. You can look at the entire 101. There is some army guys on there, Brent. I think the Italian one, Gianarelli or whatever he is like 86 or something like that. But there's a few service guys on there, but yeah, that is everything in terms of the Feldman's Freaks list. All right, and let's move it on to the main topic that we're going to do today. And it's a shame because he's not in the building at the moment, or I've not seen him at least anyhow. But uh, one of his many comments on last week's show, Grandizer was on here, and he mentioned that he'd seen an NFL list where they were ranking triplets in the NFL. So what it means by this is, so it's a trio combo. So a quarterback, a running back, and then either a wide receiver or a tight end, basically a pass catcher to go with a running back and a quarterback. Who has the best trios in college football? I don't know what the NFL ones were, but we have tasked ourselves to have a look through this. And I must say, I did have a lot of fun with this because I didn't realize just how many sort of really good units there were here. But I then started looking through the lists I've made and the teams I got, and I came up with a top five, and I feel like an absolute fraud. Like I've just done this completely wrong. But have you done a top five?
I've got four, yeah,
Oh,
but
you got
I
four.
yeah,
Well,
I've got one Power Four, I've got two G5s. I tried to look for the dark horses, teams no one would think about or didn't even realize, but I think yeah, these are going to be some exciting trios.
right. So I had that many teams. I've done three little lists. I've done a group of five one. I've done trios I think could be great, but I can't really nail it yet. And then I've done my actual top five. So I've done three different ones. I mean, you say you've got two group of fives
Well,
on yours.
uh,
Um, is it two?
no, now I read it back. Mm, I've got one. What are the beavers?
Just a technical interlude for one moment here while we discover where we're at. But all I will say is looking through this, I'm entirely excited about this topic. So, um,
I've got one technically G4 Nomad, two lesser
oh,
underrated
okay.
Power Fours.
Okay. How will we do this then? So, all right, we'll do the actual list first. I'll do my actual one, and then I'll shout out the could be's and the group of fives afterwards. So you've got four, I've got five. So I'll start with my number five, and then we'll sort of work our way up from four, etc. So again, I'm like you. I don't just go to the Georgias, the Alabamas, the LSUs, and just go, "Oh, these guys are going to have it." Like for me, that's lazy. It's very easy to say the top teams are going to have top trios every year. I'm looking for teams that predominantly have shown guys that can already do it so far, and I'm not afraid to go out my box. And number five, I'm going to do it so that Ryan doesn't have to. But I genuinely thought about this and I looked, and I think that Arizona State are a top five team this year for their trio. So you've got Sam Levitt at quarterback, you've got Kanye Udo at running back, and you've got Jordan Tyson at wide receiver. Now, this is not silly at all. Sam Levitt, potentially one of the best quarterbacks in the draft next year. No one is talking about him. He's completely under the radar, but he is one of the best quarterbacks in the country, period, for what he did last year. Jordan Tyson is going to be a number one. He's going to be a round one pick next year, providing he just carries on doing what he did before his injury. And Kanye Udo, after the work he's done at Army, after the complete conveyor belt of talent that Arizona State have produced for years now, I can say with the utmost confidence that he is going to be a success there. If all else goes wrong, he's still going to run for 1,000 yards. I mean, I'm saying it here, right? I think they're a top five unit in the country when it comes to the triple-headed monster. You have a quarterback who can throw it, who is very sensible in the pocket, can scramble if he needs to. You've got a top-tier running back coming from a run-heavy team to one of the best running back factories in the country, and you got one of the best wide receivers in the country. I think that's top five worthy, so I've got him at five.
Yep, can make a strong case for it. I think Levitt is going to be a victim of the class he decides to choose, but Yeah, you see, crazy as well. Joel Threat, the guy's an incredible runner. The guy is so slick when he decides to tuck and run on his design run plays. And like I said, last year we didn't see the best of him. That injury cost him a few games. When he did come back, like I say, picked up right where he left off. Tyson, I agree, future first round draft pick. Like I said, next year, I think he's a first round receiver. He's shown all the talents, like I said, he's a deep ball specialist. And Kanye Udo, like I say, just you're giving him Sean Aguayo's got him. Like I say, that's all you need to know. It's a conveyor belt, is Arizona State, of like I say, great offensive linemen and fantastic offensive coaching. That just means Udo, like I say, will do incredibly well next year. He's a hard physical nose runner, come from the service academy. He's used to running between the tackles. Now it probably the player's going to get more expansive now. What was saying what it was too much like in the passing game. But now you're going to see that sprinkled in. Like I say, he's a big guy. What is he, 6'1", 200, something like that? Like I say, he's
Hmm.
well-built guy. So you're going to see now them probably do a little bit, few more things that he wasn't get asked to do at his last scores. Yeah, it should be a tremendous trio, I think, going forward.
Yeah, absolutely. So I've got Arizona State at number five. I'll start with my four and then we'll move on to your four. So it was mentioned at the start of the show. I just so Chase, the security guy, talked about the Washington Huskies and how good they can potentially be this year. And I've thought long and hard about this one. And I buy completely into the Demond Williams hype as a freshman last year. Nearly 1,000 yards, 8 touchdowns, just one pick thrown. Especially in those last couple of games against Oregon, he just looks so good, so smooth. I think he's got the makings to be a really good quarterback this year, and I think the pressure's off him because he's got a long way to go. But he's going into his sophomore year. He's got a good amount of experience under his belt now. He's played, 5 games, of good snaps. So he's not coming into this year completely raw. He's got dual threat ability to him. And, I know it's banking to say it's one of the best four in the country now, but you're pairing him with Jonah Coleman, who is an absolute monster. You look at him, 1,000 yard year for him last year. Going back to that Natty team, they love their running backs there. He is a great running back to pair him with. And then you've got Denzel Boston on the outside, the outside X receiver you've got there. He is severely underrated. I think for me, what makes this group so good is they're younger and they've got the potential to grow even further. But I do genuinely think that because of the age, because of the potential, they're one of the most dangerous trios you're going to get in the country next year. And it's putting a lot of faith on Washington, but right, I think I feel like they're for real. They've had some bad years, but you can kind of see why now. Sometimes you build through the youth movement. You've got to replace. I mean, they lost a ton to that draft after they got to the Natty. It feels like they're really rebounding this year, and people are going to ignore them, which I think is going to make them really dangerous, including this trio.
Yeah, I think it's one of those trios where they'll always be like the at the back of people's minds, like I said, they're always thinking about, oh, well, they can't be good because they lost so much. It's surprising how quickly teams can find guys to plug holes and how many guys the next one can step up. Like, it's going to be another one of those where I fully expect them to hit the ground running. Like I said, these new teams, these new nucleuses just gel together in a spring. Like I said, someone steps up, fills a hole. It's a never-ending circle of, like I say, hole fills, next guy steps up. And I've got a great feeling that's going to be another one of those cases this year.
Yeah, absolutely. So I've got Arizona State five, Washington four. Who have you got as your fourth?
So fourth, so how do it? So I picked four. They feel random and they look random, but I think these are potentially four underrated trails in the country. Four, I've got the Toledo Rockets. So, like I say, Max, so you've got a senior quarterback at 191 meters. You've got Tucker Gleason last year, 2,793 yards, 24 touchdowns of 8 interceptions, and then 97 carries for 364 rushing yards and 7 touchdowns. He had one of the best receivers in the country with Junior Van Der Ost III. Like I say, he had 85 receptions for 957 yards and 5 touchdowns. And this guy's 1 meter 73. That's 5'7", 5'8". This guy is an elite talent. When he touches the ball, he makes things happen. He's an incredibly good slot shifty guy. Get the ball out to him in space. Has done very well out there, like I say, making plays all over the field, jet sweeps. in the backfield. And then in the backfield, you got Connor Volandek. So last year he had 128 carries, 458 yards, and one touchdown. But collectively as a trio, they were part of one of the best G4 or power G4, G5 offenses in the country last year. The Rockets were incredibly good on offense. They were outscoring teams by like 30, 45 points each week. They have one of those units that's got the ability to put together a very large part of points very quickly. And these guys are all juniors and seniors. They've decided to stay. These all could have had options maybe to go elsewhere. Gleason definitely could have maybe looking at hit the portal or junior, but they're all here now. They're all entering the senior years, looking to make a big last stand, try to get another Mac ring, like say, want to go make a deep run this year, and they're going to punish a lot of teams. They will be very plucky, I think, against power four opposition. This quarterback is not afraid to air the ball out, and he is a shifty dual threat guy, like you say, when he wants to be. And Junior is a nightmare in the slot for opposing nickels and linebackers with that small, shifty build. And you've got a good physical running back that can help move the chains. So I think they're going to be very interesting to watch this year when they come up against some of the more notable names that they might not be ready for what they're going to get.
I like that. We both, so for the record, they are on my G5 list here. I've seen this as well, but interesting, I've not got the same three because I saw a name on that list, a transfer who's gone there. Chip Trainum's there now.
Yes, I saw it
And,
too.
and I didn't
Former ASU,
realize.
bottom Ohio State. Now he's gone back to running back. He was
Yeah,
a running back at Arizona State. He left them to play linebacker for Ohio
yeah,
State because the guy is massive.
yeah.
He is built like a linebacker, outside linebacker. But he's coming back for his senior year. Transferred there. It's not clicked for him anywhere really.
No,
This could be interesting. Like I say, if
this
he is able to split carries in that running back, like I say, because he's a muscular dude that's super athletic.
this is what I mean. He's one of those who could just after doing nothing his career in the powers
Yeah.
could knock
Going
off
back
a
to his
what.
natural position as
Yeah,
well.
he could knock off 1,500 yards and make it look easy. So I'm with you. I think Toledo with sporting, at least in Gleason and Vanderos, whoever starts at running back, two of the best players there. So I'm fully on board with you for that one. Um, so I've had Arizona State at 5, Washington at 4. This is where I'm putting my faith next. I've got South Carolina at 3, and I am going to ride and die this train. I know I'm covering them this year anyhow, but I think for me, Lenoris Sellers is potentially the most talented quarterback in this class because of the dual threat ability. As we've seen, he's on the Feldman's freak list, so athletically, he's just different compared to a lot of these other QBs. I think he's one of the only QBs on there. You've got the dual threat ability, you've got the arm. I love him. I love everything about him. And now we're going to see him under true pressure this year. Can he lead this South Carolina team to the playoffs? Because the defense is all gone. The defense was really good last year. This time it's hit him to prove himself, but I fully believe in him. At running back, you've got Rasul Faison. He has destroyed the Mountain West the last 2 years with the Utah State Aggies. He's one of the guys I've looked at quite a bit. He's moving over to the SEC now. I think he's going to fit in there like a glove, as they say. But he's incredibly talented. One of the best G5 running backs coming up to the SEC. I think he's going to be great there. And then you've got Nick Harbour at wide receiver. And again, I never go to bat for athletes ever. I find that I'm right more often than not that athletes flame out, but having watched him more last year, I'm softening my stance on him. And again, if he gets it right, he's going to be the best wide receiver in football potentially after the likes of Jeremiah Smith. You've got an elite quarterback, an elite running back, and you could have one of the best wide receivers going. So I believe in this South Carolina trio. It's not there yet, and obviously it's a lot to prove, but I think potentially it's going to be massive. So I've got South Carolina at 3, just because of the potential alone. I think it's absolutely insane. Who've you got next?
So this one feels like it's cheating because I've got a quarterback room. They've not decided on a starter, but I've got the Wake Forest Demon Deacons. And before anyone switches off, like I want them to hear me out here. So Robbie Ashford, the former veteran SEC Auburn, like I say, USC quarterback has transferred in. They've got Deshaun Pawdy. Now, anyone that knows Charlotte 49ers, he threw for 1,800 yards and 10 touchdowns as a freshman last year. They weren't good, but he was not the problem. And then, true freshman quarterback, great name, Steele Pizzella threw for 60.8% completion last year, 2,600 yards, 29 touchdowns, and had 8 rushing touchdowns. And he's come into the program as a true freshman this year. So that quarterback room looks very different from what Hank Backmeyer had last year. All new faces, all of them exciting. And then you add in a running back who was on the Feldman's freak list for anyone that needs to go look, Demond Claiborne. This guy 5'9", he's like a juke bug. He's a scat back, but he's incredibly physical. He had 228 carries for 1,050 yards, 11 touchdowns, and then over 23 receptions for 254 yards and 2 touchdowns. So the guy at 5'9" is minuscule. He was the first 1,000-yard rusher for Wake Forest in 6 years. That tells you about how their Sam Hartman days they were passing. Like I said, this guy is very good. And all name mention, Karate Benson has transferred in from Tennessee State Tigers, the HBCU. Last year he had 70 receptions for 963 yards and 8 touchdowns. This room has got this little nucleus has got so much potential for a team right now that, like I say, is struggling in the ACC. It's not been kind to them recently. They've been struggling for form since Hartman did leave. But whoever wins that quarterback job, with the receiver coming in that's a senior now, supremely talented in Benson, that's finally earned a big shot in the FBS, come from HBCU, this is quite a rise. And then one of the most underrated running backs in the country that's proved that just his small size and stature can be a serious workhorse. I think it's going to be very fun to watch them. I'm going to be keeping an eye on Winston-Salem this year to see what Wake Forest do, like I say, especially in the ACC. I think whoever wins that job at quarterback, like I say, you get the experienced veteran, you get the total unknown freshman with a big stat sheet coming in. Or I like Deshaun Purdy, 6'2", 220, big kid coming off, like I say, a strong freshman year. He's done it. Like I say, I think whoever wins this job, like I say, I think the future could be very bright. Because like I say, you've got two guys there with like 3 years plus of eligibility each, and then an SEC veteran. So yeah, I think it's whoever wins the job, like I say, will determine how they run the offense. But there's pieces there.
And see, and that is why people listen to us, let alone turn off. We could just go Georgia, Bama, Michigan, and say these are the top guys here. You're not going to find anyone else batting for Wake Forest in this, dude. But we do our research and we know what we're talking about. So, we will go where no one else is scared to go. So I've had Arizona State 5, Washington 4, South Carolina 3. At number 2, I'm going a little bit more mainstream here. I've got Clemson as the second best trio in the country. So Cade Klubnik, obviously, you've listened to Ryan wax lyrical enough about him over the years, but he is one of the best quarterbacks in the country, steadily getting better year on year. And I'm expecting them to go potentially to the Natty this year, all the way he's capable of that. And then at wide receiver, you've got Bryant Westco. I've got him in there, but they've got a trio of guys. But I think Westco, being the true freshman, he is going to be the standout of all these guys eventually. I'm expecting him to maybe have more of a breakout sophomore year now that he's got his feet wet and he knows what he's on about. And this is where a little leap of faith comes in, but I've got them with the true freshman running back, Gideon Davidson. There is a lot he is one of the most anticipated true freshmen in college ball this year, and Clemson have lost their running backs. Phil Mather's gone. The backup, I can't remember his name, is gone. But that room is wide open to be had. And apparently, the way he's been training, the way he's looked, he's probably going to nail that spot from day one. And he is the one of the best running back prospects in the country coming this year. And I think they're going to slot him in. You just see how well they do with the running backs there. Shipley, Maffer, all these guys, they're prepped, they're ready to go. Shipley started as a true freshman, did he not? Pretty sure he broke out big as a true freshman back in the day. They think he could be better than Will Shipley, and Will Shipley has been absolutely amazing for the Tigers. So Klubnik, Davidson, and Westco at Clemson, I've got as the second triple-headed monster going into this year. Who have you got next, Rose? Your second one,
So
the last one.
this is the dark horse. So I've got the Oregon State Beavers. Now, last year was not kind to them. Like I said, Ben Goldbranson has decided to move on. But for anyone who didn't notice, they picked up a huge portal commitment from Malik Murphy, the guy that led the Duke Blue Devils to 9-3 last year. Now, this guy's 6'5", 226, and last year threw for nearly 3,000 yards, 26 touchdowns, and 12 interceptions. You add that into a running back that was like top 15 in the country. Anthony Hankerson, 232
Mm.
carries for 1,082 yards and 15 rushing touchdowns last year. They relied on him so heavy running the ball. And then they bring back their senior wide receiver, Trent Walker, played in all 12 games last year, barely left the field, played special teams as well, had 81 catches for 901 yards and two touchdowns. And that was the tied seventh most receptions in a single season. So Trent Walker had a great year this year. I think Malik Murphy's come in and said he had plenty of offers. I was very surprised when he left the Blue Devils. But for a team that's still in this transitional Pac-2, went 5-7 last year, and with their schedule this year, it ain't that bad. I think they could surprise. I think they have a winning record this year. I think this trio on paper will be very good. I think Hankerson is one of the more underrated running backs, especially in the next draft class. And I'm still thinking Malik Murphy. I still think 6'5", 225, big arm. I still look at him and think there's a pro quarterback potentially there. Whether it's the NFL or UFL, CFL, I just look at him like that. He was a big get for a team that's struggling, like say, that's still looking to make a transitional move in a few years, and he's using the last of his eligibility on the Beavers, which tells me he's all in on that product. I think this year those three combine, like I say, and there could be a explosive offense to put up some points, especially through the air and on the ground. Like I say, if the receivers all help chip in, I think Malik and Hankerson can do some real damage to anyone that tries to go up against Oregon State this year.
I love that shout. I do low-key really love Anthony Hankerson, so I love the shout there for the Oregon State Beavers. And then I'm going to finish my actual top five here. So obviously Arizona State at five, Washington at four, South Carolina at three, Clemson at two. Now again, this is going to be the one where I go normal and I go, there's a big team here that I've got, but I've got LSU as having the best three-headed monster in this entire country going into this year. Obviously, you've got Garrett Nussmeier at quarterback, who, still has a little bit to prove at this moment in time, but I think in terms of his ability, it's unquestionable. If he has a big step forward this year, they get to the playoffs, getting some more high-profile games, get some high-profile wins. Again, he's probably going to be one of the better quarterbacks in the nation. I've no doubt about that. The running back's gone completely under the radar. Caden Durham, as a
What a
true
freshman he
freshman,
was.
as a true freshman last year, Caden Durham knocked out, I believe it was 1,000 yard year all purpose, all told. No one really, because LSU for years have just been associated with wide receivers and quarterbacks, and I think people have forgotten that actually they can produce good running backs as well. But Caden Durham is insanely talented for just a true freshman, and he's just going to keep getting better and better. He's going into his true sophomore year as potentially one of the best running backs in the country already, pairing himself with maybe a quarterback who's going to go first out of them all if he has a really good year this year. And then to pair with them at receiver, you've got Aaron Anderson, who is the best slot receiver in the country, I believe, like the best pure slot. He's like 5'8" or 5'9", I think we said, about 180 pounds. No outside versatility there, but in terms of just outright slot receivers, he was the best receiver on the team by a mile last year. He is Nussmeier's safety blanket. He's the guy who always gets open in the middle. Again, really talented. We think of the big play explosive receivers out of LSU. We don't necessarily think of the nifty slot guys that they can do as well. But you've got one of the best QBs in the country. You've got maybe the best true sophomore running back going into this year in the country, and you've got the best slot receiver in the country. I mean, I don't know about you. I can't find any with outright skill right now who are better than that. I think these three are absolutely tremendous. And, again, it all lives and dies by whether they get to the playoffs. But if they do, people going to be waxing lyrical about all three of them.
Yeah, like I say, Kane Durham was outstanding. He carried that offense on his time as a young man. He put them on his back when things weren't going well, and he was incredibly good. He's nifty. Like I say, he's very much in that Clyde Edwards-Helaire, like I say, the last LSU running back that actually has gone on to have a very good career. People forget that LSU were also a good running back school. And then Aaron, what a shifty little dude. Like I say, you get him the ball in all these ways. He's a multifaceted player. He's very dangerous yak man. He's very hard to bring down in the open field. Should have a very big year. Like I say, screens, jet sweeps, maybe even get him in the return game. Feels like someone it's going to be very good this year. Like I say, there's so many receivers, like I say, that you could have put with them. Like I say, Barry and Brown Like I say,
Mm.
it's one of those where it's a triple-headed monster. You can just kind of like for like swap players out there. So yeah, it's going to be a very potent LSU offense this year.
Yeah, I did think about that. It was the production with Brown. Like, you want the big season, and then it'll be him. Like, he'll be the superstar on that team. So, I mean, you can switch or swap out, but yeah, I've got LSU. Grandizer has been the best triple-headed threat in the country. Who's your fourth team that you had?
So this is my like first place team. And when I was thinking about it, I was thinking about potential. And yeah, this one could absolutely flame out at the end of the year. This could all go terribly wrong. One, I've got the Michigan State Spartans, and I've gone with this
Oh,
purely for the
yes.
blend of youth and experience. So Aiden Childs, 6'3", 217, true sophomore. Now last year it was shaky, right? 59%, 2,415 yards, 13 touchdowns, 11 interceptions. Did like say a rush for 225 and three touchdowns. You get Nick Marsh, now a true sophomore, 6'3", 203 pounds, 41 catches, 649 yards, three touchdowns, 15 8 yards catch, a modest freshman season. But then you get the veteran workhorse running back, senior year, 6'1", 211, Elijah Tout Oliver. 1,275 total yards and nine touchdowns last year. Now, last year, I saw flashes of Childs. I thought, yeah, this is what everyone talks about. This is what everyone raves about. This is the dual threat, hybrid, like lab built 6'3" quarterback that I thought. And then I saw stupid turnovers. I saw careless throws. I saw throwing into double coverage. I saw lots of stuff I hated, but it's easy to fix up. And then, like I said, the sloppy quarterback play lets you forget that Nick Marsh, one of the best. He was up there, like I said, I thought with like say Ryan Jeremiah for true freshman receiver. The kid was
Mm.
insanely talented. He's big, he's strong, he's got route running, he can take the roof off when needs be. Like I say, he's got every trait needed to be one of the top receivers in the country. It was just getting in the ball was the problem sometimes. Like I say, not he was always in the right place doing the right thing. And then you get the reliable chain moving ball 6'1", 211. ETT is a big running back. He moved the chains last year. Like I say, you hand him the touches, they fed him the ball. Like I say, now we come here where you've got two players a year older. You've got ETT now coming into his senior year. This feels like it could be the year they all click. They've had that whole spring, that whole year to work together. Aiden and Nick should be on the best page. And I think Aiden Childs will make one of the biggest jumps from freshman to sophomore this year. I'd like to see, I think the interceptions will come down, the in turn touchdowns will go up, so that ratio will get bigger. And I'm liking to think, like I say, that Nick Marsh this year, like I say, he'll become the focal point in that offense. And as Aiden finds him more, like I say, you're looking at well over 1,000 yard season. He becomes the face of the franchise, and these two potentially go on and okay, they ain't going to win the Big Ten, but I think they might start to punish more of the better Big Ten secondaries this season. Like I said, there's plenty of other guys in the supporting cast, but yeah, the Spartans this year, I think, make a big jump on offense, and it comes down to this trio.
I absolutely love. I've got them on my could be list, so I'm thinking exactly the same as you in regards there. Like I say, Childs, it's he's had his year. Like, he's had the rough year where he's learning. I think this is the year where he's going to start to break out now. Like you say, Tao Tolliver, he's been a menace at Sac State. I trust Sac State implicitly. I mean, he was the guy who took over from Scat, right? When
Yeah.
Scat left, Tao Tolliver was the next man up. So, you've got pedigree there. You get guys who can go top 2 days in the draft, and he'll be a chain mover. And Mich State do well with that. I think was it K'Ron Lynch Adams they got from UMass a couple of years ago. He was 1,000 yard rusher for them, and he ended up being pretty good. So they scout their running backs very well there. And like you say, Nick Marsh. Everyone forgets about him as a true freshman because Ryan Williams and Jeremiah Smith exist. Like, he is one of the best. He's going to be one of the best true sophomores in the country at the receiver position. So I'm with you. If it goes right, that Michigan State triplet could be awesome this year. And I'm so glad you said that before I did, because I didn't want to be the one who upset Brett. You've done it now, so that's great for me. Um, so Grandizer, in terms of the list you want to do, so I've got Arizona State 5, Washington 4, South Carolina 3, Clemson at 2, LSU as number 1 in the country. And Ryan, just remind us of your 4 maybe ones we've got this year. These could be the good ones.
Yeah, so these are the ones to just keep an eye on. So at 4, I've got Toledo Rockets. At 3, I've got the Wake Forest Demon Deacons. At 2, I've got the Oregon State Beavers, and at 1, I've got the Michigan State Spartans.
There we go. And as I say, I've done three of these little lists, so I'm going to go through the other two now. So I've got the could bees. So this is my version of Ryan's could bees here. Now I did have Mich State on there, but I've still got five of them. So in no particular order, I think so. I've got Florida. I think DJ Lagway, Jade and Bow, and then I've heard nothing but fantastic things. So they've got the superstar Dallas Wilson coming in at receiver this year, the superstar recruit, the 5-star plus, I think he is. And given how Lagway and Jaden Bow did in their true freshman years, they absolutely flourished on that team. This is a scary trio because it's so young. Not one of these three is going into is done more than 2 years in college. And yes, Dallas Wilson has not seen the field just yet, but I trust Billy Napier and what he's been doing with these young guys on this team, and he's immediately going to go into a wide receiver. He's going to get targets, is what I'm going to say. Even if he's not wide receiver one, he's going to see 30, 40, maybe 50 targets this year, and he's going to boatload up on here. And he's got providing the only reason I don't think they were in the top five is because I'm not sure on Lagway and his injury.
Yeah, it
It
feels like
just
health will be the only thing
yes.
that holds him back.
It feels like it's not going to be in their hands at this moment in time. But I would think, right, out of all of them, again, none of them are past the second year. Like they have the ability to be one of the best trios all time. They could go to number one this time next year if they all, develop this year.
Yeah, like I say, it's a big year for them. It's incredible amount of youth. Like I say, if Florida do well, when Florida are good and vibes are good, there's no reason to leave or enter the portal. They can pay you the money they want. It's one of the biggest brands in college football, and they can get you where you want to be in the draft. So if they go good, they might be Gators all the way until, like, say, junior, senior, which they want to be.
Yeah, absolutely. So I've got Florida in my could be's. Another one I've got in my could be's, and this is one I'm low key very intrigued by. Oklahoma. So at Oklahoma, we've got John Mateer at quarterback. We all know Ryan is a massive fan of John Mateer, and I'm looking forward to what he does this year at Oklahoma. At running back, you've got Jaden Ott, who was once upon a time one of the best running backs in college football before his injury last year. So those two alone, you've got a really exciting dual threat quarterback who is getting better as a passer. You've got, if he's healthy and back to what he was before, one of the best running backs in the country. And they're pairing them with a wide receiver called Giovanni Gibson. So he's coming out the HBCUs. They've
Oh,
brought
he
him
was
in.
so good.
Yeah, they've brought him in from Arkansas Pine Bluff. So last year, 70 receptions, nearly 65% catching, and I believe it's his only his second year. 1,209 yards, over 17 yards per reception, and nine touchdowns. This guy at 6'2", 216, he plays on the outside. Matia's gonna love him. Who was was it Williams, the outside receiver he had at Washington State?
Kyle Williams, yeah.
Kyle
It
Williams.
was, oh yeah,
He's
it
sort
went
of in.
fifth round pick to the Patriots. He went
He's
super
in the
high.
build of what Kyle Williams used to be, and he's this insanely talented HBCU wide receiver. But I think for Mateer alone elevates this. He's the real wild card, isn't he, right? Like he could be like the next big thing if he gets his cards right this year. And Jade Knott, I think this is low key one that could surprise everybody, but it has the potential to be a top five trio in the country.
Yeah, because when you think about as well, offensive coordinator, John
Hmm.
Mateer going to follow his coordinator from the Cougars, like it should just fit like a glove. Like say, if you're talking like say, John Mateer after this year may well be the best dual threat quarterback in his entire country. Because like I say, the run game is just ridiculous. Say 15 rushing touchdowns last season. He was incredible with his legs and out in space. When he decides to tuck it and take off, like good luck keeping up with him because he is shifty.
Yeah, absolutely. In terms of others, I've got three more. I've got Missouri
Now
on this list.
they're the one power four I had, like say, yeah, they're the big name that I'd circled.
It's so with these, you've got obviously Bo Pribula at quarterback, which we don't know what Bo's going to be yet. He was,
He's only played one game, hasn't he, for Penn State?
yeah, he's been groomed to be Drew Alice's successor, but he
Everyone thinks
wanted
he's the next
to
big thing, though.
wait. But we've got Bo Pribula, and Bo Pribula is a good prospect, and he's not flamed out so far. He's just not been able to play, but he has the potential to be the next big thing for Missouri. But then we've got your favorite running back there as well, right? So Ahmed Hardy is about to take
ULM.
over the Warhawks superstar from last year on one of the worst teams. Well, no, no, they were not the worst team in the country. In what was one of the worst teams going, as a true freshman, knocked out about 1,200 yards, I think it was, getting his big mark. And we know what Missouri do with running backs, right? Schrager, God, who was the one before? Like, there's been a laundry list of guys come out that team there. So Ahmed Hardy is, I think you've already said, he's one of the like dark horses this year to really go on and be a menace. And then they also brought in another transfer. So you got Kevin Coleman, who came in from Miss State last year, and on that absolutely awful Miss State team, he garnered 932 yards and 6 touchdowns. He is a slot receiver. He's 5'10", 175. But for Bo Pribula, who's starting games for the first time, Bo Pribula's going to want a best mate this year. And every quarterback's best mate, if it's not a tight end, it's your slot receiver who gets open. This guy's been at Louisville. He was at Jackson State. I think he started his career. Like, he's generally progressed up the ranks and got better every place that he stopped. So, I mean, there's a lot of what ifs here, but that's why they're in the could be category. If Pribula hits, if Hardy carries on doing what he's doing, if Coleman carries on, he'll be one of the best slots in the country. I don't know. I think we've both seen this, right? Right? Like, this is sneaky, sneaky, could be good.
Yeah, this is one of those where you lean on a running back game to take pressure off Bo. And reports say he's got a big arm that he's just not been able to show it. Like you say, he's well built, put together. He's just been biding his time now for multiple years between, yeah, a lot of guys, like I say, have surpassed him in the PSU rankings. He could have probably should have transferred earlier, but it could be one of those one-hit wonders. He's already a senior, so he could come in, make a splash, and then dip, like say, yeah, and then yeah, a wide receiver that has worked his way up the ladder, has been good on pretty bad teams, and now comes into a school that is known for its explosive wide receiver play. The wide receiver coaches, the offensive coordinator are really good at, like say, circling those mismatches, and you've just got, like say, a guy like Luther Burn to the draft, so they're definitely gonna have a plan for Coleman, how best to use him and finding targets here. So if this three hits the ground running pretty quickly, yeah, I don't think Tigers might not win tons of games, but offensively they could be quite dangerous and pose a threat for multiple defenses. So yeah, I'm intrigued by Pribula, why he's waited so long to finally hit the portal. Like I say, we're now going to see what he's actually got.
Yeah, yeah. This is one of the really big boomer bust ones. We could be completely wrong about this, but if we get it right, we'll look like geniuses. Okay, I'm going to do the homerism. I'm putting NC State in here. CJ Bailey, Hollywood Smothers, and Justin Joly. Justin Joly's one of the best tight ends in college football, and I think CJ Bailey and Hollywood Smothers are both going to break out this year. So I'm just putting it out there. I'm putting my NC State stuff in, but I'll not stay long on it. The last one I've got, and this is very, I'm surprised we haven't mentioned them, but I've got Oregon. So, and this for me, why they're not as high as a lot of others. I am not as high on Dante Moore as everyone else is. I know
Nope, me
Paul
either.
loves him. Dante Moore could be very good. He could be very good. I'm not sold on it just yet, but we're doing hypothetics here as to whether they're going to be great or not. If Dante Moore hits in this offense that works really well, then he's going to be great. You've got Mackie Hughes at running back. You know, you talked about
I
Mackie
highlighted
Hughes
him,
at
yeah, from
length.
Tulane. The
Yes,
guy's a stud.
you love Mackie
Could not have fit in
Hughes.
a better place right now for his draft stock. That all
Exactly.
line is just it. Look what he did for Jordan James.
Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, Ryan said enough about Mackie Hughes already. But then what really tips this in the good scale is you've got the best freshman receiver in the nation coming out of high school this year. I might be fair
Carrion.
to say
Yep.
Decorian Moore is coming to the team this year, the 5-star plus recruit, like their shining jewel in this class. So if Dante Moore is going to be good, this he's got a number one receiver. He's got a superstar or a potential superstar to aim at. So this is why they're not as high as others for me because it all verges on the quarterback, and it's the same with Pribula, right? That's why the Missouri ones in the could be's. But I mean, if Moore lands, then the other Moore is going to be a superstar. And Mackie Hughes is going to be one of the best running backs in the country. So this actually has the potential to be a top five one. Out of all of them to break that top five very quickly, Oregon's probably got the best ceiling to do that.
Yeah.
But
Also, you
I,
could fit in, you could swap out receiver for tight end too. Kenyon Sadiq's in. Like I say, Terrence
yeah,
Ferguson
yeah,
is
you could.
gone. So
Yeah.
there's a big hole. Oregon like their tight ends, and like I say, Kenyon Sadiq should fit. He'll replace that Terrence Ferguson hole.
Yeah, that's a good shout actually. If you want to replace, proven production so far, Moore has not done it. That's great. But I've put Oregon in there, so they're all the ones out the power that I've got, and then I'll finish with the group of five ones to roll this out. So we're coming to the end of this. So if anyone's got any questions they want us to answer before the end of the show, get them in now while we do this last little bit. So, something you said to me the other week, I think it was the other week or 2 weeks ago now, resounded when I came to this, but I've got five ones in here. So at number five, in terms of the best triple-headed monsters potentially coming out of the group of five, I've got East Carolina. So it's you mentioning Caden Hauser is there now at quarterback. And Caden Hauser, like a lot of Michigan State QBs when they leave, is having a renaissance in his career. He's got a very good running back paired with him in London Montgomery, who did well for the team in tough circumstances last year. And he's got a bona fide stud at receiver in Anthony Smith, who was first team All Phil Steele group of five that he's got there. I mean, it just feels like East Carolina have turned the corner, but they do have the makings of a very good offense there. And it was the stuff you said about Hauser and how far he's coming. I'm like, I can see this. I think this is legit.
Yeah, very talented team. Had a very good year last year. They went like 5-1 to finish last season. They were really good down the road. And like I say, Hauser now in another year in this offense has got a legitimate outside target. He's got a good running back under center, and they're known for an offense that can score quickly and score heavily when it wants to. So I expect ECU to be able to replicate that 8-5 season again and prove that they're not just the little brother in Carolina. They're always looked at as, like you say, the brother you pick on. Like you say, because you've got NC State, like you say, you've got you've got Chapel Hill, you've got North Carolina. They're always looked upon as, like I say, the small option. But yeah, this year I'd like to think, like I said, they should do a good job of holding their own.
Yeah, absolutely. So I've got East Carolina at five. So you got multiple lists here, Grandizer. So I really does hope this answers it. At number four, I've got Toledo. And you've mentioned Toledo already. I think Toledo, again, potentially, depending on what happens with the running back, they could be one of the best groups going. At number three, I've got James Madison.
Now I've thought about them
So
because, like I say, because they got two QBs.
yeah, so obviously Alonzo Barnett, we really like. Alonzo Barnett's a very good quarterback, and he's a dual threat as well, and we know he can throw for days. We unanimously picked George Pettaway as our running back to watch. Like he was the only unanimous pick we did in that entire group of five show. Like we are both convinced that he's going to be the breakout star this year. Obviously, he had a good year last year, but in George Pettaway, you've probably got one of the best running backs in the group of five to go with a dual threat quarterback. And then at receiver, a name you all know with your FCS connections, Nick DiGennaro, the Richmond Spiders
Yeah,
receiver who
good transfer
has
pickup.
15 touchdowns. It's crazy. In James Madison's unit this year, I think 11 of their receivers on the roster, out of 11, 10 of them are transfers. Like they lost all the receivers, but G. Gennaro has been a menace for the Richmond Spiders. They've been to the FCS playoffs. That is one, like you said, it's one of those high-powered passing offenses. He's going to come in with Barnett. I mean, I don't know. I think with the transfer and the two bona fide stars there, they also have claimed to be a very good triple-headed monster.
Yeah, they'll be. I just hope it's the year it comes together. Like you say, they make that G5 playoff potential push. I think they're one of the prominent G5 teams again in the country, and that multifaceted offense. And then you throw in, like you say, yeah, it just excites me very much. Like I say, because you've also got it's Sluker, aren't you? So you've also got, like I say, a running QB as well. Like I say, that is incredibly dangerous with his legs. So yeah, it any three kind of trios you put in, like say, on certain downs and packages, they're going to
Mm.
cause nightmares. They're going to cause a lot of headaches for a lot of big defenses this year.
Oh yeah, the I expect the old Holy Cross, Bob Chesney. He will get this thing running well in the right direction. So we'll see. But I've got James Madison there at three. I've got Boise at two. So obviously Maddox Madsen at quarterback, he is a refined product at this point. I think he's putting a lot of the doubts behind him about what he's capable of. Then you've got Latrell Caples at wide receiver. He's had 2 years, very good production, very steady production for him. This for me all hinges on Sayer Gaines at running back. He is Jaunty's apprentice. He is like he was a true freshman last year, went for 120 yards in his first game. He threatened to overshadow Jonty's year. They would have done what Jonty and Halani did the year before, where they worked in rotation. But the second Gaines went down, it was Jonty's show, and that was that. But I know they think of Sire Gaines what they think or they thought about Ashton Jonty, which is they've potentially got not just one of the best running backs in the group of five, but in the entire country. It's what has the injury done to him. But if he's healthy and does what they think he's going to do, then Boise's just going to, on offense, is going to kill pretty much whatever comes up in front of it in the group of five.
Yeah, like I say, we're going to get a real test of what Maddox Madsen's like this year. Like I say, John is gone. You've got a running back coming off an injury. Like I say, you've got Latrell Caples that's still a very capable receiver. Like I say, he's good in contested catches. Like I say, he's strong, he's physical. So we're going to see it's a real litmus test this year because it was so easy to rely on Ashton last year. Now he's gone. Maybe they're better this year. Because like I say, last year it all fell apart because they were so one-dimensional at times. Like say maybe now, like say I'd like to see them be a more balanced offense, and we see a bit more of the QB this year. That excites me.
Yeah, absolutely. It's got the potential to be so well balanced. Great quarterback, really good running back, and a very solid receiver to go with them. He can probably be a lot better as well. Probably the receivers are going to see more action this year because they're not just going to be throwing it. Sorry, running the ball with Jonty all the time. So the receivers should hopefully see an uptick in what they do. And then at number one, this might be a surprising one, probably is, but this is a team who I've had a soft spot for ever since their coach had a bit of a breakdown and they were dead and buried, and they have formed one of the most miraculous
I know
comebacks
who it is then.
going. And I love this team. I
They've got
love
a
the
great
coach,
quarterback.
and they do. I've got the Arkansas State Red Wolves as
Jaden or Jalen.
Jalen Rayner. So he has been quarterback there since he was a true freshman. He's a true junior this year. Hang on, let me just get his things up because he's been again on a bad team. He has been really good for them. I've lost his stats. Where are we here? So he's 6 foot, 201 pounds, so good size. But as I say, he's played both his years so far since a true freshman, 5,339 yards, 33 touchdowns, 17 interceptions, which is 2-1, which he does need to clean up a bit, but we are in the group of five here. So 33 touchdowns. He has dual threat ability towards him. He's got 8 rushing touchdowns in the 2 years so far, but he's got over 1,000 rushing yards. He is a bona fide dual threat quarterback. And I say he started since he was very young, so the turnover numbers are high. I think it's 17 picks and 10 fumbles. So that's 27 turnovers, but to be expected with someone so young. And again, on a team where he's been sacked a lot. That offensive line they've not really run the ball as much. But I love Jalen Rayner as a quarterback. I think he's one of the most, if not the most underrated QB going in the group of five. But then it's the targets he's got with him. So you've got Jacquez Cross at running back. He's 5'9", 197 pounds. He's just this wonderful little bowling ball of a player going into year five, but he's got 1,351 yards and 9 touchdowns over his last 2 years. He runs at a steady 5.5 yards per carry, so he's really good. He's a dual threat ability as a receiver as well. So again, it just gives him that added dimension. He's got like 400 yards, 2 touchdowns as a receiver as well. So over 1,500 all-purpose yards for him over the last 2 years. But then you've got maybe the most experienced receiver in all of the group of five as well. You got Corey Rucker going into year six. He's been there. Well, this will be his 5th year out of 6. He had that 1 year at South Carolina that didn't work. He's got over 3,000 receiving yards and like 27 touchdowns for the team. He's probably going to break the receiving records at Arkansas State by the time he is said and done. But what is undeniable is probably the most reliable pass catcher in the group of five that you will find. Vastly experienced, knowledgeable as hell, and he's got a very young, gifted quarterback throwing in his direction. So when you talk about triple-headed monsters, for me, I'm looking at what they can be, what they are now. You've got a little bit of everything here. You've got the future, you've got the present. So Jalen Rayner, Jarquez Cross, Corey Rooker are my best triple-headed monster in the group of five at Arkansas State. So hopefully, Grandizer, that answers your question. We put a lot into this, but as always, like you say, if you ask us anything, we will go out there and do it. But I don't know, right? I'm just reading all this. I'm quite excited now. When you go through all this talent, you see all these pairings, you're like, some of them are going to work, and it's just going to be a beautiful thing to see.
Oh yeah, some of these guys are going to click and their offenses are going to hum and they're going to be dropping 30, 33 points weekly in and out. Like I said, they're going to be, when you look at those end of year boards, that's how I started. I kind of just searched for FBS passing leaders last year, and Jalen was the first name that stood out because he had the 16th most passing yards, I think, in the country last year. Like I say, he had like I say, a crazy year. He had like the most, like say, joint 16th, 17th, and like I say, a lot of these guys you don't recognize the schools are always when you look at the list, but they're usually right up there. Like I said,
Mm.
Rucker, yeah, he was very high up receiving lists as well. Like there's a lot of these guys here that kind of just stick out in the middle of a Power 4C. You just get this little dot of a group of five guy, and you're like, oh, he's doing well for himself.
Yeah, absolutely. There were some teams that had two really good ones and just missed out, like Ohio. Sia Bangora's back at Ohio this year. Like he was amazing for 2 years. Went to Minnesota. Obviously put him with Parker Navarro, but I couldn't find a receiver really there to go with them. I had South Florida, the Bulls, Byron Brown and Cartavius Norton. Tremendous. Couldn't find a receiver again. Buffalo, I so badly wanted to put in. You got Al J Henderson at running back and Victor Snow at wide receiver. But I found their quarterback this year, right? We know him very well. Taquan Roberson. Do you remember
Yeah.
years ago at Penn State? He was meant to be the next big thing and got really arsey and left. And I think he's been just about everywhere. I couldn't, in good faith. I mean, he's in the group of five now, but I couldn't, in faith, put Taquan Roberson in a top three there. I wanted to put Western Kentucky in, but I couldn't find a good enough running back for them. Obviously, Maverick McIver's there. You got KD Hutchinson at receiver. I did put Vandy in here as well. So Pavia and Stowers are there, but Cedric Alexander, the Vandy running back, is very underrated, really underrated, but they just missed out. So there are a lot of teams. I had good fun with this. So again, hopefully you've all enjoyed that. That is our deep dive into triple-headed monsters. Maybe we found the next Cerberus or Ghidorah there in college football. Brent goes, Lemeo, neighbors just asked me what ROTL UK was, seeing my t-shirt might have a new sub. Hey, Brent's repping us with the merch. We really appreciate that, Brent. We're trying to
Want some royalties? Send him some royalties if you wear the merch.
we'll send him some we'll send him some good ones there. Let me just go back through some of the comments. I think I've missed a few in here. My marker goes just good here about North Dakota State when you're doing these shows. They're just one of those teams that will always get a mention. And then anything else in there? Duh, 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 duh. Grandizer will love that. Yeah, I'm hoping he does as well. I can't really see anything more in there question wise. So again, to say I'll go through all the housekeeping stuff and we'll get the last bits out the way. And then if you want to slot anything else quickly in the end, then please do so. But in terms of next shows coming up on the pod, so Friday night for you guys, it's the Lions' next preseason fixture against the Atlanta Falcons. Of course, Matt and Ash will be doing their thing on the calls, so don't forget to stop by the stream and support them in what they do. There will not be a main podcast next week in terms of the Lions one on the Monday because we have the 24-hour live stream on the Saturday, so we're kind of saving everybody for that and allowing them to spend time at home and do other things instead of just podcasting all week. So there'll not be a show on the Monday, but we'll be gearing up for the 24-hour show. As we always say, lots of guests coming on, got lots of things planned, so spread the word about that. We really appreciate any help in doing so. We're putting a lot of effort into it to celebrate 5 years of the podcast, so that is going to be great. Me and Ryan will be back next week, though, with the college football podcast on the Wednesday, and it's the big one. It is our preseason predictions show, the one where we make lots of shocking predictions and then get them wrong. And just in some cases, we get some really right. So everything from the conference title games, who's winning the conferences, who's winning the Doak Walker, the Heisman. I really need to get better with my Heisman one this year. I think my last two predictions were Drew Aller and Connor Weigman. So yeah, got to take it seriously this time. But we'll be cracking on with that. Yes, mile marker the 16th, or it'll be the end of the 15th for you guys because we start at midnight. It'll be 7 p.m. on the Friday the 15th. So it's the 15th spilling into the 16th for you all. But yeah, sorry, me and Ryan will be doing the prediction show next week. Big one for the college football season. So tune in for that. We will that's one of our good ones that we enjoy doing. And then in 2 weeks' time, we'll be previewing week 0 because we're there, baby. We will have college football in 2.5 weeks' time. It's great. We are nearly there. So don't forget, Roar of the Lions UK. We're all over the internet. You can find us wherever. Just type in the name or look at Brent's shirt and you will find us and you will know who we are. So yeah, we really appreciate all the help for that. So yeah, I think that is just about everything. Is there anything else you quickly want to mention before we get out of here today, Rye?
Nope. I've already looked at my award winners. I've already started penciling them in.
Yeah.
It's not gonna be easy.
No. How many Michigan players are winning positional awards for you? Sorry, that was a low blow, Brent. I apologize. Freshman of the year, we might put Bryce in, but who knows? But yeah, do join us for that. It's going to be good fun. So thank you, Ryan, as always. Thank you for everybody for listening this evening. Hope you've enjoyed the Feldman's Freak stuff, the triple header monster stuff. We do our best for you also. We'll see you again very soon. One Pride.
Recording stopped.